We should be. We should be live. We're about to
But
go.
are we live?
I hope we're live. There's the lag, so I might be like, oh, now we're live.
I think we're supposed to be live.
Not the best way to start off the live stream. Are we live?
Are we live? I don't know. It's so scary.
I can't tell if we are. It still says please stand by on here.
Yeah.
Oh, now we are. I can see it. We are live. That's how laggy it is. Okay, so we've got 2 questions already. So the first question is, so guys, thoughts on kid watching PG-13 superhero and comedy? Is it bad?
Yeah.
I think it's okay because PG-13 is usually quite tame.
Yeah, I think
it's gonna
it's
be
fine.
tame. Yeah, I mean, like, but at the same time, I remember when Spider-Man came over to the UK, it was the first time we introduced a new certificate called 12A because it was that dark and serious. Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, warranted a completely new certificate. It's 12A. No, it wasn't because of that. No, it was because 12A meant like you had to be, if you're under 12, you had to be with parental guidance. That was the reason. I think it was so that they could reach a larger audience while also kind of warning people that this is a bit mature.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So the next question is, who is your inspiration for being involved with animation? You go first.
Who is my inspiration? I don't really have this sort of inspiration. I just started to watch different sort of anime movies and shows as a kid, and just was acting like a total couch potato in my entire youth. I just found animation as just sort of this safe place to just be myself. So that's really my inspiration for animation. It's just that sort of safe haven for me.
Definitely, because I remember when I was younger, we watched cartoons so much that our parents took away the satellite television. That's how bad it got. We were obsessed. We were so obsessed. We just sat on the couch, just watching cartoons all day.
Yeah.
For me personally,
yeah. No, you go. Sorry.
Yeah. For me personally, it's a huge bunch of people because it's the Pixar directors like Brad Bird, Andrew Stanton, John Lasseter. It's the Disney directors like John Clements, Ron Musker. Is it Ron Clements and John Musker? Get them mixed up. I think it's Gary Trousdale and Kirk Wise, the Disney directors. But there's also the independent animation filmmakers like Ralph Bakshi, Bill Plimpton, Don Hertzfeldt. I like so many filmmakers. I could go on all night. The whole live stream could go on forever because of that. But I just like the filmmaker. I really got, even at a young age, I was like, who directed this? 8-year-old Jambareeqi. Who directed this? Right. Okay. What's their body of work like? I was such a pretentious child.
You pretentious prick.
I was. I even had a massive, huge 300-page book of film reviews. That's how precocious I was. I was like, oh, I was. Okay, another question
so
is.
special.
Another question is, what's the best animation movie between Despicable Me or Megamind? What do you think?
I would have to go with Despicable Me. I feel with the main character and the little girl characters, their relationship was a lot more you can connect with that more than in Megamind, where you just in both ways there's two completely different movies thematic wise, so it's very unfair to compare them.
I mean, a better comparison probably I don't know. At the same time, there is a bit of a comparison you can make because it's a film that they're both films that focus on the villain as the protagonist. So there's kind of that comparison. Story. Yeah, it's kind of a comparison. But if you consider that, you could look at it that way. How well do each of those tackle that genre?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm going to have to say Despicable Me as well because it's so damn charming.
Yeah.
Megamind is very funny and very entertaining, but I draw more to the heart of Despicable Me, and the kids are just so lovable, and the relationship with Gru is just so sweet that I grow more to, I connect more to that side of it. With Megamind, I see it as just a fun popcorn film, but Despicable Me is like the center, is the heart and the emotion, the drama to it.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that I also want to add to do like Despicable Me is like Gru is still like sort of evil at the sort of end of it. Like he doesn't like turn as like I'm the greatest good guy ever.
Yeah.
His friend's like I'm the good guy now. I destroyed the city for like many years, but now I'm the good guy.
Yeah, he doesn't betray his character.
Yeah.
But he develops at the same time. He develops in a way without abandoning what makes him so entertaining.
Oh, and here's a little bit of an add-on. Weston, do you agree that Despicable Me is a little overrated, even if it is a good movie?
I think the Minions are overrated.
Yeah, Minions are definitely overrated.
I mean, like, the Minions are adorable, but like they have been really overhyped and over-merchandised big time.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
they aren't that funny.
They're cute and like they're likable, but like they're not like the levels that people are going. Like, I like.
Yes, especially to have a whole Minions movie. Like you can't focus on them. They can't even speak.
Yeah, but I kind of like that idea though, because like it does follow the silent animation kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I am giving it a chance when it comes out. It's definitely one of, because my New Year's resolution was to watch as many animated films as possible, and Minions is on that list.
Yeah, I think the silent animation thing is the good way to go, but I don't trust film studios to go with that nowadays. I feel they're like gonna bring in like the little girl characters, like I met with the Minions. We're gonna go on a great adventure through New York. That's
just pure '90s animated film.
Yeah, that may be '90s, but the Smurfs did that, and that only came out a few years ago.
Oh, I've got the Smurf.
Yeah,
it's on my schedule. I'm scared. But yeah, Despicable Me, whether it's overrated, I've not really thought about it in that way, because the Minions have really clouded the way that we look at Despicable Me. It really has. So I think the Minions is taken over. The Minion side of it is a bit overrated. Despicable Me hasn't really gotten that much. Like the other characters haven't got enough attention.
Yeah.
To kind of like think, well, is the film over? It's weird. It's just the Minions have taken over. So it's hard to look at it as in that kind of way, as complicated as that sounds.
No, I guess our answer is that we don't think Despicable Me is overrated. We think the Minions are. Yes,
definitely. Yeah. Because the actual film hasn't been given the hype. It's the Minions. Anyway, let's move on. With Harold Day with that one. What else have we got? Scrolling up.
Scrolling off.
Why does Whyboy look like Dawson from Dawson's Creek?
I'll take your guys' word for that, because I haven't seen Dawson's Creek.
I haven't. I remember Dawson's Creek being on after all the cartoons in the morning, so I was like, real life situations, I'm not interested. I want to watch Cat Dog. Shut up.
The only mention of Dawson's Creek that I've seen are like in some like YouTube parody videos. So maybe I am Dawson. Like,
that's what we should do. Play the theme song. I don't want to know all my life.
Oh, dumb.
You just opened up a video like that. Looking at a lake. So, Whyboy, you've got a personal question directed to you.
Mm-hmm.
It says, for Whyboy, thoughts on Cars Life 1, 2, and 3?
Okay, here are my in-depth thoughts on all of them. Haven't seen it, and haven't seen it.
Very lucky, and very lucky.
I may look at them someday, because I do have, like, a Cars Life 2 in my collection for some reason.
Thing is, I'd say Cars Life 2 is the best one, but it's really not a compliment.
No, it doesn't look like it would be.
Cars Life 2 does have like it does have a very sweet romantic subplot in it that's nice. It's very nice. But the main character doesn't become likable until the third film. He doesn't develop as a character until the third film. It's like, oh, thank you for
Nice.
developing finally at the end of the trilogy.
The
Damn it.
trilogy. Like it's some big
It's like having a
epic.
Batman trilogy, and Batman is only competent in like the third film, and he does his job properly until the third film.
You just didn't even do it that properly then. You just accidentally catches the criminals.
Right. So another question is favorite fictional character from a movie or TV show. You go first.
Favorite fictional character? I would say, well, with my Scooby-Doo corner, I would say Scooby-Doo is one of my favorites. Like, I just find him such, like, an endearing sort of character.
Mm.
Because he is all cowardly and all that. But when he, like, gets right down to it, he is, like, the bravest one. Because he'll just run towards the monster, like, save Velma, Shaggy, or whatever, and just run away again to save them. But those are my favorite sort of shots. Wait to see, like, oh, and he runs over, it's like, oh, picked him up, it's like, oh, I'm out of here.
Definitely, and it's the way he talks as well. The way he talks is almost childlike, so you can
Yeah.
see something very innocent about him.
Yeah.
So these
Yeah,
primitive vocabulary.
yeah, yeah. In the later movies and shows, like he does have this sort of like snarky side to it. It's like, well, right. Like he just sounds like that sort of like prissy brat sort of character too, which sort of is endearing as well.
Brilliant. I can't really think who's my favorite. I really like Daria from Daria. She definitely holds up. She's a very relatable, highly developed character and very realistic character. And she's just very funny as well. And I love dry sense of humor, so I love her snarky one-liners. They're very entertaining. So I really like her. I love Hank Hill. Hank Hill is just a great character. He's just a fantastically strong character. Like the thing is with Hank Hill is that whatever situation you place him in, he's going to do something interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say he's a boring character. It's like no. The
He's very
entertaining thing about
dry.
the entertaining thing about Hank Hill is seeing how uncomfortable he gets in certain situations. That's what's so entertaining about him, and like putting him to the test in those situations. I love that. So I love Hank Hill. I love Onizuka from Great Teacher Onizuka because he's just fun. He's really fun. He's a very fun. I love fun characters.
Yeah.
Just fun or relatable characters. I could really go on forever because I just got so many. I have considered sometimes doing top 10 favorite characters, but like I don't think I could do a 10. It'd be like 100. There's so many characters I love.
Yeah, I think I can do a top 10. But speaking of the great teacher, I can think of another great character, Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus.
Oh
I love her.
yeah, she's brilliant, really quirky.
Super wacky, super like knowledgeable and all that. And you think that she's all scatterbrained and all that, but she always has the plan. I like those sort of characters, like the Mary Poppins, Miss Frizzles, Nanny McPhee's. All the characters. Yeah, the whimsical, like when you first see it, it's like, oh my god, they don't have any idea what they're doing. And then it's like, oh no, oh yeah, that's right, motherfucker, I planned everything. Like that secret like, deception that I love about them.
Definitely. I haven't seen Nanny McPhee yet, though. I still need to see that.
Yeah, Mary Poppins is better. I just like it because it's just sort of like Mary Poppins light.
The poor man's Mary Poppins.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great marketing tagline.
Yeah, it's just very blunt with how like magical and whimsical she is. Like she starts off like ugly as fuck, and then at the ending of the movie, it's like, oh, she's beautiful now.
Oh.
It's a complete representation of her.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So another question is right. Oh, this is for Whyboy. What are your thoughts on War Days? My short film.
I think it was awful. There's nothing redeemable about it, so let's just move on. No, seriously. Like I thought War Days was like very interesting, and I know like because we talked a lot, I know you had like a ton of difficulties with it. So some of the things got lost in that sort of like frustration sort of thing. But for what it was, I think it was a really good short film.
Thank you. I see it as like the practice, the second practice. It's practice number 2.
Yeah, yeah, you get those sort of things sometimes.
Which is what makes it interesting. Is like when you look back on it, it's still an existing short film, but it's a practice. I love that. It still exists. So the next question is: do you agree that Despicable Me is a little overrated? I think didn't we have that question already?
Yeah, we answered that.
We answered that already. We said that sorry about the police sirens. I live right next to like a busy road, really busy. I live next to the train station of my city. It's such a busy place. Where was I?
Jambareeqi, don't say that. You'll get all the stalkers. They'll find you.
Damn it! Where was I? Where were we? Oh yeah. So the Despicable Me. We were saying that we don't think Despicable Me the movie is overrated, but the Minions are very overrated.
And now we said that twice.
Yes. Well, that'll happen a lot, trust me. When we did the War Days Q&A, I think I answered the same question 3 times in 3 hours.
Okay, let's do one from me, from Clint. For Whyboy, favorite Aardman movie or TV show? I'm trying to think.
Wait, where's that?
It's a very new one. It's the very bottom.
Oh right, we mustn't forget the other ones though.
Yeah, I'm looking at there too. Like I'm just trying to remember. Like I love Wallace and Gromit. Like I saw like something of their shorts as a kid. So I would say my favorite one is Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Yeah. Like super funny. Like I love the stop motion that Aardman does. Like stop motion is my favorite sort of animation because you can see all like the little efforts that are put into it.
The thumbprints.
Yeah. The thumbprints, the fluid animation, everything about it. Even when it's done like really shittily, like in those like classic like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer sort of things where you can see like like you can still see all the effort put into it.
Definitely. It's got charm to it. Even the ones that don't look that impressive, like the Magic. Have you seen the Magic Roundabout?
Yeah, I've seen the Magic Roundabout.
I love the Magic Roundabout. It has so much charm to it, and the animation is terrible, but wonderfully terrible. It's just, it's so primitive that it gives this lovely, fantastical feel to it. This kind of childlike innocence that I love. I really love.
Yeah, I get that feeling when I watch this other one called Pingu. Like
Pingu.
Pingu. Like at the very beginning, he's like little.
Oh, Pingu's adorable.
Yes, he is. Like at the beginning, like very basic sort of animation, but then he started to go years down the line, and the animation got better. But I don't know, for me, like it started to like get worse in a sense. If you get what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like I got too clean, like where it's like, it's fine.
So another question is, for Jambareeqi, can you review What's Up?
What's up?
I've already seen Bob Show's review of it, and he pretty much cleared it all up. He pointed out everything that was wrong with it, so I don't think there's anything I could really add to it. So it does look very terrible.
Yeah.
It looked and racist. It's a very racist mockbuster.
Yeah. Yeah, I got What's Up and a few other like Video Brinkunda ones in a box set. That came with like What's Up, The Frog Princess, Chopkick Panda, and something else. Oh, Ratatouille. That was it.
Just so
Perfect collection.
Just so people know, I think Whyboy has the biggest mockbuster collection in the world. I just have like 3 or 4. He's got like a library.
Let me see if I can just pull that. Like I just stretched back, and here's one mockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
Happily Ever After collection. Puss in Boots, Donkey X.
I've heard of some of those.
Yeah.
I was gonna do Donkey Quixote.
Yeah.
I was close to doing that one.
Yeah, I was gonna do.
What else have we got here? What animated movies do you think are superior, traditional or 3D? I don't think there's any superiority between any technique. All techniques have their own charms. They really do, and they're all just as hard as each other from an anime perspective. There's no technique that is easier or harder than the other. They all have their difficulties.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the exact same way. I don't feel like it's very fair to say like all CGI movies are far superior to the drawn animated ones now because they're so easy to make now. Like no, each and every one has their own difficulties to get past.
Exactly. I mean, like, I remember when they pitched Brave Little Toaster to Disney and they were going to do it in CGI, and the person in charge says, well, okay, with CGI, how much is it going to cost? And they said, oh, it's just going to cost the same amount as any other animated film. It's like, well, I'm not interested. I'll only be interested in a technique that's going to be cheaper and faster.
Yeah.
Ah! Luckily, I think he left or got fired soon after.
Yeah, so we got the drawn animated Brave Little Toaster instead, which looks far superior. Even though, personally, unpopular opinion, I don't like the Brave Little Toaster that much.
Understandable. It is a bit strange. Yeah. I've noticed. It's a very strange film. I need to rewatch it. Definitely. I feel like I'm going to get requests from my series. I feel like that's going to get a high vote anyways.
Yeah, I feel that saying that here will get me killed. But yeah, the problem with me is like I just felt like there's those famous scenes like where the scary clown, the whole crushing car death thing, like has very inconsistent sort of tones to it. And what really pissed me off about it is like I hate the human character and how devoted he is to a fucking toaster. Like that just ruins any sort of like believability that I can have in it. Like if it was just about the toaster like getting to his owner, like that would be fine. But then the owner being like, "But where's my toaster?" Like no, I can't have any other toaster. I need this shitty one and my vacuum cleaner.
I can imagine little Whyboy watching it. It's just a toaster. You've got a girlfriend! Stop it!
Yeah, that was probably just me. It's even worse in the sequels, though. Like, where I remember one scene, like, where the human character, like, his girlfriend, like, uses the vacuum cleaner to, like, does something else. Like, oh, no! You can't use it to vacuum up that! It's very sensitive!
They should do it as a drama. Cleaner. They should do it as a drama or a horror film, because that would be brilliant. Yeah. Just a psychotic man believing all these things are alive. That'd be awesome.
You see him drawing on smiley faces on all of them. It's like, yes, vacuum.
My air conditioner sounds like Phil Hartman. Nah. So the next question is Penguins of Madagascar or Puss in Boots Minion?
I'm trying to think because that is difficult. Like I will say, like I don't believe any of them should like get their own shows. I don't believe they're all funny enough to get their own shows. Like Penguins of Madagascar show is very like box standard.
It was.
Yeah. We did everything we needed to do on the Minions. Puss in Boots, I would believe he's the most fleshed out of the bunch. I would say.
Yeah.
Like he can't stand more of it on its own than any of the other two.
There's potential for Puss in Boots. I think there really is. I still need to see that show. I really need to see the Puss in Boots show.
Yeah, I saw it on Netflix and I was like, oh.
I think the only thing that puts me off is the fact that it's not Antonio Banderas because he is the charm of that character.
Yeah.
He's the best thing about the character, and I'm like,
without that voice, he just doesn't have the same sort of charm to him. I don't feel. So yeah.
I'm not too sure out of all those, but I like Puss in Boots the most, definitely, so I'd agree with you. I definitely like him the most. Yeah. So, moving on, next question is, favourite Jambareeqi review episode, old or new? You go first.
Favorite Jambareeqi episode. I'm trying to remember. Uh, yeah, I really find like most of the reviews like I'm not saying it's an insult. Like they're all sort of the same to me. Like they're very all informative, funny, and all that. Like I don't really have like a super favorite one. Like they're all just sort of reviews that I just put on. It's like, oh, that's very relaxing. It's like,
Oh.
I, I will say like the Wild Thornberrys movie is a personal favorite of mine because I'm in it. Just to be clear, I don't have that big of an ego in real life.
For me personally, it keeps changing. It's like because as the seasons go on, I feel as if that there's new things and there's new directions to go. And at the moment, it's the Cars Life 3 review. I'm really proud of that one. That's definitely my favorite moment. Before it was Hop, but then with Cars Life 3, I really like that one because it reflects everything about me. It's my sense of humor. It's my style of reviewing. It's just it's very personal to me because it captures my tastes and my imagination, and it's very personal. So I'd say Cars Life 3.
Yeah.
So another question is, for Jambareeqi, have you seen Little Cars 1, 2, and 3? No. And I probably won't, because Cars Life was enough to get through. I'm really hoping there's not going to be a 4. Because like,
Yeah.
there's only so many times you can say they don't know what they're doing. They're really incompetent and clueless.
Yeah. I did plan on like reviewing every single Video Brincundo movie at one time. Then I
You're
was
mad.
thinking, like, and then I just started to think like, no, because how often can I just say, it's just shitty animation, shitty voice acting, sort of thing, even if there's crazy things in each one. I just don't want to like beat a dead horse, sort of thing.
Plus, watching them is really draining.
Yeah,
It sinks you low. You just feel so low and
yeah,
tired and
yeah.
they're painful.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that more often. Like that's why one of the reasons why I'm on hiatus right now. Like watching shitty movies is like just became really draining to me. Like the last movie I watched was I'm going to review one day. I will. Is The Legend of the Kung Fu Rabbit. I watched it once when I was up in the cottage and I was just laughing my head off it because it is so terrible. But then watching it again, I'm like, "Ugh, doing this shit again."
I don't think any reaction is going to be worse for like tiny robots though, because the person I watched it with fell asleep 3 times. I had to wait 3 times, 45-minute long movie, and I was like, dude, I just have to pause it for you. We can get through this.
Yeah, I tried to do that with some of my friends, but we all fell asleep during like the movies I chose. Like one of them was actually it was Puss in Boots.
Is that the Shatner one?
Yep, William Shatner.
Well, it sounds like this all the way through. Oh.
Let me just say, William Shatner's not that appealing to me. Like, and everything he's been up to in the past few years has been shit.
Okay, so another question is, Whyboy, what's your favorite movie genre?
Oh, what's my favorite movie genre? Uh, I don't. I don't even know. I would say like fantasy, like to be very broad, but I don't really have a sort of favorite because I just watch like any sort of animated movies. Like some of my favorite movies are like Fantasia, A Fish Tale. Like I loved Mary and Max, but that's not even a fantasy. Like I'm all over the place when it comes to genres.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I'm not fussed. I'm
Yeah,
really not fussed. It's like there's no specific one, to be honest. It all depends on mood.
yeah,
It really is like a mood thing. Whatever I
yeah.
feel like watching at the time. Okay, so you've already
And
answered that one.
yeah, I'll just answer one from Barry. Why, boy, what is your favorite and least favorite film? Like I've already said, like Fantasia is my top favorite film. Like I was just watching that like a few days ago while doing some work. Like it's just that sort of movie like, where you can just put it on the side, where sometimes you don't have to pay attention to it. You just listen to the music of it, and you can just see the visuals in your head, sort of thing.
Mm.
Yeah. Like that's what I love about it. It's like the truest form of like animation and music combining together into something that's so beautiful.
Definitely, absolutely.
My least favorite right now, I would say, is Tentacolino. Or
I knew it.
like that's still my top least favorite. Like nothing has like surpassed it yet. Like it is the epitome of boredom, insult, and just what the fuck. Like I'm still infuriated at people out there like how that one scene like where this mouse in a diaper sexually assaults this other mouse. Like how that hasn't like caught on.
What? I really don't want to watch this. I'd rather watch When the Dead Go to Die.
Like you can see it in my review of it. Like I'm like my final blow up is basically just showing that scene at the very end because that's just disgusting.
So yeah, I've not seen your review of it because I'm tempted to see the actual film first. I'm tempted. It's like it's one of those gold mines.
Yeah.
Ever since Nostalgia Critic refused to do it, everyone else was like, "Well, I'll do it."
Yeah. Yeah, just open the floodgates so that like everyone has done it. But I was one of the first.
Brilliant. So another question is for Jambareeqi, how was your pizza? I think you mean the pizza from when Negariqi was eating it, because that was very nice.
Yeah.
But if you meant, I remember the last live stream I did, I said I got very hungry for pizza because everyone was asking pizza questions. I didn't end up eating pizza afterwards, so there was no pizza that day.
And I know there was a question for me, like, what's my favorite pizza pie? That would be pepperoni pizza, or any sort of meats on it. I just love, like, the pizza. Like, I eat it all the time.
I'm careful. I'm very careful. I'm very careful about pizza, because...
Don't want to ruin his figure.
Nah. No, I'm really careful about the kind of food I eat. Not so much as anything. It's just with certain foods, it can make you really depressed because of the chemicals inside of it. That's what I've noticed. And for some time, sometimes I get in this like really horrible mood. And I'm like, why do I feel like this? Life is going great. And you realize what you're eating, and like, oh, and you take that away, and life feels amazing.
Yeah. It's the pizza. It's always the pizza.
The pizza is convincing me that the world is a terrible place.
You see the pizza with the monocle on, it's like, yes, I did that to you.
Man, little cheese. So another question is, so Jambareeqi, for your next episode of Puppet Panic, I implore you to review Team America. You asked for this when you made that series. Yes, I will be getting around to Team America. It's just a bit of a tough one to talk about because it has so many layers to it and so many things to talk about and address. Definitely address. There's a lot of things to address. So I'm kind of like, right, one step at a time. It will be one I get to, but the next one I'm doing for Puppet Panic is a movie called Strings, which is a dramatic film using marionette puppets. It looks so cool. It's like a dark, atmospheric film using the kind of puppets they used for Team America, for Thunderbirds, those kind of puppets, which looks really interesting. It's a bit like the Dark Crystal, but with Thunderbirds puppets, marionettes. So yeah, I'm doing Strings next. I'll be doing a lot of Muppet movies because that's what they mainly are. When I was researching for potential Puppet films to review, it's like Muppets this, Muppets that, Muppets Muppet. Okay, lots of Muppets films on my schedule then.
Yeah, you might also have to do some short films because I know like a few of them like that were done like in that. Like I'm trying to think. Damn it, there's like this really like silly like disgusting looking one that I watched a short film on. Like something about cowboy zombies.
What? I want to see this.
I'll look it up for you later and send it to you. But you probably will have to do some of those.
I bet it's not as disgusting as Meet the Feebles.
Yeah, probably not.
It's just grotesque. I'm gonna do that soon, but I'm like, oh, I remember how horrible and depressing this film was. It's a very depressing film. It's just insanely mean-spirited.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy wanted to do Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not sure if you'll do like puppet TV shows in this series. Like, there's another show that I did a review on. Like, it's Felt Up. Like, it's basically like sexual stories told through puppets.
I think I've heard of something like that. I
Yeah,
think I have, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, I interviewed like the director of it all, like Simon Glassman. Like, it's a great show, sort of thing. It's like it's not for everybody because it's obviously like sex stories, but it's a funny show.
I definitely will check that out.
Yeah.
Anything that makes puppets not seem child friendly. Okay, so we've got a question for you, Whyboy.
Okay. Now there's a few questions for us. Let's just go down the list. For Jambareeqi Whyboy, can you review Where the Dead Go to Die? Like, we actually talked about this before. Like,
Whereabouts is this one?
yeah,
Oh, that one. Okay.
yeah.
Um,
Like this.
we best go in order though, because I'm gonna get lost if we
Yeah,
jump.
we are going in order. I'm just going down. Like Where the Dead Go to Die. Like, that has been reviewed by so many people now. Like, that's a popular one now, isn't it? Like,
Mm.
I know, like, people have requested me to do it. People have requested you to do it. Like, and I'm just not sure if I'm going to. Like, because it's just, I don't really like to do those sort of like review topics that like everybody's done, because then you just get lost in the sort of shuffle sort of thing. And like when I get those sort of things, like I don't get very much hits on those sort of reviews. Like the reviews that I get hits on, like is like the Mr. Pickles, uh, shit, like yeah, the Tentacolinos, like the Fish Tales, like movies that no one has really thought about. Like people like I'm introducing them to. It's like, oh yeah, these are very interesting, sort of weird.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. For me, for the Where the Dead Go to Die, I really don't mind the content. I've seen everything, so I'm very desensitized to a lot of things. I mean, I've seen the bottom of the barrel stuff when it comes to disgusting, horrible things. Um, for me, it's wondering how people react to me talking about that kind of content, because I know that not many people were that when I did a questionnaire asking people about which reviews they liked the least, and one of them was Live Freaky, Die Freaky. I'm worried it's because of the content, because it's very depressing, grotesque content. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant. So I'm thinking of just asking people how much of a majority want me to review that film, and if the majority want me to do that over something else. Because yeah, my idea is for Halloween, I'm going to give the option of which animated film I should review on Jambareeqi Reviews, which is a first. It's a first.
Yeah.
Because I want to see, do you want me to tackle Where the Dead Go to Die, or something like Monster House, Paranorman, Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas? Which one? What's the majority opinion? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I'll probably just be the same. Like if people like request me enough, I'll probably do it.
oh, definitely, yeah.
But until then, it's like, yeah, not gonna really do it.
You've got a question. Who is your favorite movie director?
Ah, oh, that is tricky because I suck with names like actors, directors, or anything, so I don't really know like who I really like. I'm sorry if that's not a really good answer. I would say like I'll go simple and say Hayao Miyazaki and his movies. Like I love his.
Definitely.
Like yeah, like one of my favorites is Princess Mononoke because that's like one of the only environmental movies that doesn't feel insulting to watch.
See, I was raised by environmentalists. My mum is an environmentalist, and she has a degree in it, and so she taught me all about sustainable energy and looking after the environment. And even I, when I watch films like Fern Gully and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, this is too preachy.
Yeah.
Even coming from me.
Uh,
So another question for you is, do you like Marvel or DC movies? And what's your favorite pizza pie? I think you already answered the latter one.
yep, yep, pizza pie, pepperoni pizza, Marvel or DC. That's a little bit trickier. I'm not really into superhero movies unless I'm going out, I was with friends. But the ones I've seen more of Marvel, I believe. So I would just go with Marvel. like they just have a lot more fun with their movies and such. That I feel, and makes it like a lot more like a good sit through. Like where some DC movies are like, like I'm sad now.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to superhero movies, I like the good balance of making it a bit sinister and dark, but also fun and exciting and colourful, which is a hard balance to do, colourful and dark, which is why I love Guardians of the Galaxy. It actually managed to do that. It looks beautiful, but it's a really mean-spirited, twisted film at the same time, and it manages to make you laugh and be intimidated by the villain, and it's just brilliant. I really love Guardians of the Galaxy because of that.
Yeah.
So we've got...
I'll just answer one from Barry. Have you ever seen the Pingu episode where he really needs the toilet and they actually showed him pissing? Yes, I have actually seen that episode.
Brilliant.
What the hell is that? Like, come on. That's all you need to say to that. No. And I've also seen the one with the killer seal in it, because that grab is scary. I just remember that face.
You've also got another question asking, do you like anime?
I do like anime. I've watched anime quite a bit, and I do want to do more anime reviews on my channel. Like I did have like one commentator basically say it's like, you should make another channel for anime and one for cartoons. And then I basically came back and said, well, I think anime are cartoons. And then we got into this whole thing. It's like anime aren't cartoons, that sort of thing. It's like, yeah, let me answer that. I do consider anime cartoons as well because it's animation and all that. And for Cartoon Corner, it's not really like a cartoon show. It's an animation show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bottom line of it. I'll review anything animated or that I want to review. So anyone who says differently is like, yeah, basically that.
That should be a meme. Just freeze on that with like animated cartoons.
Oh god, I'm gonna become a meme. No.
Someone needs to make that. Someone needs to make that and just put it everywhere.
Great.
So, another one is... Oh, this one's for me. When will you do more Friendship is Magic reviews? I'm going to do another episode reaction for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic tomorrow. Straight away tomorrow. It's just that I've had so much going off right now with all the with the new shows, introducing new shows, and the Cars Life 3 review took a few days, as many people know, to get up online because my artist, Karan-san, was kind of taking a... He's not very good at deadlines, so it kind of took a while to get this up, and I was like, come on, I'm so excited to put this up. I need the body pillow drawing.
Hashtag blame Karan.
Yeah. Thing was, he was the second person I asked to draw the body pillow. The first one, the reaction was like, when I asked Karan, he was like, oh, that's great, man. Okay, I'm going to start. That's the kind of guy he is. He goes straight over his head how strange that request sounds. So yeah, tomorrow, another My Little Pony video will be up tomorrow on my channel. Totally, definitely, absolutely, 100% certain. But at the same time, I need to write up some reviews for a magazine that I'm part of, so it's going to be a bounce between those two tomorrow. Right. For Jamboree... Whoa, I just jumped over a load there. Right. Jamboree, favourite Whyboy review, old or new? I really like his Whyboy Spotlight review about the Scooby-Doo and the Chupacabra one. I really liked that one, and the points you made were really entertaining in that one. But I also love your Chop Kick Panda review. That was really funny.
Yeah,
really...
Yeah, both of those are like one of my favorite Spotlights and Cartoon Corner reviews, because I really hate Monster of Mexico. It is the worst. There has not been a Scooby-Doo movie that has been worse than that, in my opinion, because it is the one thing that no other Scooby-Doo movie is. It's insulting to its audience. It thinks it's idiots.
He just sounds so angry on that one, just like, this is it. This is the powerful Scooby-Doo.
I was angry because I fucking hate it so much. I do want to one day do a full review of that. like Cartoon Corner style, like I'll go through it entirely and say everything that's wrong with it, because there's one scene that I fucking hate in it, and I might as well say it now. Like basically at the end where the criminal is basically unmasked, like they're in this graveyard, and it's like the ghost of the grandfather like comes out of the grave, it's like, whoa, everyone leave. And then they go back and look, and it's like, hey, you're not the actual ghost. Like, wait a minute, that isn't my grandfather at all. Like, oh, it's like, and then Velma goes back and sees the villain. It's like, you do realize he's not speaking Spanish. Like, how am I supposed to speak Spanish? Like, what the fuck? Like, he was speaking English. Like, it just goes back on itself. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
So another question is, what's the hardest thing you had to review? You go first.
Hardest thing. Oh, that's tricky. Like the hardest movies for me to review are the boring movies because you just can't really pull a lot out of them. Like so the one that took me the longest to get out. I would say like a review that didn't come out at all, like the Frozen review that I was trying to work on. Like, that was the hardest review for me, because I just kept rewriting it and rewriting it and rewriting it, because I just couldn't get the words out correctly.
One second, I'm a bit of a shadow here.
Yeah. A bit of a shadow.
That's better. For me, the hardest, it's really hard wearing my hat and the headphones. For me, the hardest was probably Live Freaky, Die Freaky, because it was such sensitive content, and I do kind of wish that I addressed how offensive that film was, because the thing is, I'm so desensitized by so many twisted things I've seen that I'm like, yeah, this is pretty offensive, but really I should have been like, this is awful. The concept alone is awful, a Charlie Manson musical, and like there's certain things I didn't even address, how it really does mock the victims, and you're like, what? And there's an interview with the director in the DVD, and it's like he's defending the film, saying it's a film about not joining cults and stuff like that, and it's like, no, it doesn't feel like what you're intending, you know? It just feels like you're taking the piss out of real people that died. And when I saw the comments to the Live Freaky, Die Freaky review, I was like, you're right, this is worse than I thought it was. This is really, really offensive. Not just the execution, but in concept, it's a really terrible idea. So that was very hard to do. And I even spoke to one of my friends on Skype about it, saying like, look, how do I address this? But I knew it was a film I had to tackle, because not many talked about it, and I've known about it since I was a kid. Because I was a huge fan of Good Charlotte, and so through Good Charlotte I found out about this movie called Live Freaky, Die Freaky, and I'm glad I didn't see it as a child. Because some of the things I didn't even talk about because I couldn't show it. So definitely I'm going to go with that one, absolutely. So another one is, have you seen Class of 3000 and The Replacements? I've seen Class of 3000, I think, was it? No, that was Clone High. I'm thinking of Clone High. So no, I've not seen Class of 3000.
Yeah, those two shows are nothing similar. I have seen both shows. Class of 3000, I've only seen like an episode or two of them, and it's like, it is that sort of like magic school bus sort of show. Like, it's the magical teacher with the ragtag team of kids, and it was all right for the time. Like, it was more like based around its music sort of thing. Like, and I can't really remember the music, so I don't know how well it is, how well it holds up now. And The Replacements, I've seen it, but it's all right. It's fine. If that's sort of show where you just know, like, the executive is like, we need to fill this time slot. How do we do that? Like, I have this show. Okay. And that's it. That's what The Replacements is. And basically, for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically these two kids, like mail order, like their like mother and father into their family, and basically they can just replace any adults they want through this company.
Wow.
So basically, yeah, these two kids are self-entitled little pricks.
Damn it. I'm not interested.
It's not that funny of a show. It is an interesting concept, but the execution is just very bleh.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah.
For Jambareeqi Whyboy, 21 Jump Street, Superbad, or Mean Girls. I've not seen 21 Jump Street. I want to see them because they're from the directors of Lego Movie and Cloud with Chance and Meatballs, but I've just not seen them yet. I will totally see it. I've seen Superbad. First time I saw Superbad, I loved it and I adored it and I really got into it. Second time I saw it, I was like, yeah, it's not as good as I remember. It's got sort of a John Hughes charm to it, sort of. It's only slightly there, though. It's a bit too mean-spirited to capture the John Hughes charm. So, but it's funny. It's funny for what it is, and the things I kind of like about it. But it doesn't hold up compared to the first time I saw it. Mean Girls, I've not seen for years. It's been years since I've seen that, so I need to watch that again. So I can't really make a decision out of those three.
I can't make a decision either because I haven't seen any of them. So
Right. That's what we should do. We should do a Let's Watch of Mean Girls. We should have a proper chick flick night.
Yeah. I'll bring Vanilla in and she'll watch it too.
That'd be great.
Okay, next question. Jam or Whyboy, what are your thoughts on A Dose of Buckley?
I've only seen a couple of his videos, and I think I like the kind of points he was making, but I think one of the points kind of put me off him. So I was like, right, I'm done with him now. But for a while, I did watch his stuff quite frequently. But one of the points he made, it painted a picture of him that made me like, ah. So yeah.
I'm just trying to remember his videos. I know like the username A Dose of Buckley. Like, what were his videos again? I'm trying to remember.
It's kind of like just stuff, rants, the rant videos.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I can't remember it, like that's my opinion of it.
So, someone has just said you should rename your show Animation Attic. Which one of us should do it? I think it was talking about early on.
I think that was me. I will not do that.
It sounds like a catchy. I like the alliteration. It sounds catchy.
Yeah, it's catchy. But Cartoon Corner is a lot more catchier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A question for Jambareeqi Whyboy: have you seen a cartoon called Tiny Toons? I grew up with Tiny Toons. I've not watched it in years. It was one of those. It was one of the Steven Spielberg produced cartoons that I watched the least. I think I was more into Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. I watched those ones more than any of the others, and Freakazoid as well.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm the exact same way, except I didn't see Freakazoid at all during the time. I saw Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, and for any time I watched Tiny Toons, I more remember the actual movie, like How I Spent My Summer. Like I watched that a bunch of times as a kid because it was just like a whole bunch of series of shorts, and I loved that.
Definitely, I need to see that. Definitely to see that. Another question is, what are your most anticipated animated films to come out for the rest of the year? For me, Inside Out. I'm so excited about Inside Out.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that drew me into Inside Out was even in pre-production, I was like, I want to see this. The original title was the Pixar movie that goes inside your head. I was like, I want to see this. I don't even care what it's about. The title alone has drawn me in. So when I saw it all come together, I was like, yes, I want to see this even more. This is a genius idea. For those of you who don't know, Inside Out is about a little girl and her family and all her life, but we can see her emotions playing out in her head, and her emotions are characters.
Yeah.
It's such a clever idea. I'm not sure if it's been done before, but the idea alone really attracts me to the project, and the fact that Pixar's doing it makes it even more appealing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same movie that I'm excited for. Like, because I've always like been interested in like emotions, dreaming, that sort of stuff. Like the metaphysical like form inside one's head. I always love to see that sort of like inside the head sort of thinking. And if Pixar's doing it, hell, it's going to be even great.
The good thing is that it's a Pixar film that's not a sequel. It's been a while, so that's
Yeah.
another thing that appeals to me. It's like, oh yes, we're
Yeah.
doing something original. So
Yeah.
that's another appealing thing.
Yeah, they're building up those funds for that because what those sequels were for.
For Jambareeqi and Whyboy, do you like Disney Infinity? I've not played it.
I have not played it, but I do plan on playing it if I ever do like Let's Plays again. Like that was one of the things I wanted to play. It's like, but when you look at it, it's like, oh, I got to get like $100 worth of stuff to like actually play it proper.
That's my reason for not playing it. It just looks so expensive.
Yeah, yeah, it is one of those like parent traps to this thing. It's like, mommy, I want to get like all the Disney Infinity dolls, and there's over 50 of them.
For Jambareeqi, thoughts on Happily Never After? I've not seen it, but it is on my schedule. It's the reason I've not seen Whyboy's review of it, because I want to tackle it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I will address it at some point, and its sequel.
Yeah. and I shall say my opinions on it. It sucks. And I shall also look at its sequel as well, because it looks like it sucks.
Oh, this is a good question. I'm not sure if you've seen this. Have you ever seen the shock video Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life? I've seen it. I've seen its sequels. It is messed up, but it is hypnotizingly messed up. It's like, what kind of mindset do you have to make something like this? But at the same time, it's so relaxing for its content.
Yeah.
It's really disturbing content, but you're like,
yeah.
The narrator's got this soft, tender voice, and you're like, ah. It's confusing. You've got conflicted emotions.
Yeah, and then the visual's like, oh. So yeah, I have seen Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life.
Oh no! But if they ever make a new one, I'm like, I want to see where they go with this.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. I've seen the guy who made it. He does similar videos, and they're just as hypnotizingly, mesmerizingly insane. They have this laid-back tone to them, but they have the weirdest things happening in them. They're fascinating. They're an experience. They really are experiences. For Whyboy and Jambareeqi, are you going to see Inside Out? Like we said, yes, it's the film we're most excited about. So yeah, we're definitely going to see that. So both of us, what movies are you looking forward to that are coming out this year? We're having the same question for a third time now. Inside Out. We were looking forward to
answering the same questions.
That's the question though. Are you going to do a video on Inside Out when it comes out?
I don't really do like vlogs and that sort of stuff. Like I usually like take time to like formulate sort of things. That's what my Whyboy Spotlight series is all about. Like I take like a few days, like think out my thoughts, write them down, then I record.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do vlogs for Minions and for Inside Out and Strange Magic. Anything that's animated and coming out, I'm gonna go for it.
I still have to see Strange Magic. Like I just noticed it like, in one of my movies. Just like, huh? What's that? I never heard of that animated movie. Like it just popped out of nowhere.
Well, the thing with Strange Magic is we don't get it in this country until July, so we have to wait ages.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind, because I heard some bad things about it. So
yeah, it didn't look all that great. It looked just like Epic. Which...
It does kind of like, it doesn't seem that grabby. It doesn't seem that, I don't know what's the word. Grabby is a terrible word.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem that appealing or fresh. It doesn't seem that fresh. That's what it doesn't seem fresh.
Yeah.
Grabby.
Yeah, it seems like something that you've seen 1,000 times before. Like,
yeah, it definitely does.
It shouldn't remind me of Epic because that looked like something that I've seen 1,000 times before. Definitely.
Another question is favorite Pixar movies. You go first.
I would say Up is one of my favorite Pixar movies.
Ah.
Like brilliant beginning, showing like an entire sort of sad story through like zero dialogue except for like the little context between the two kids at the beginning, and then everything else is like a super high-flying action adventure with a undertone of that dramatic theming. Like it's a brilliant movie.
Same. Exactly the same. I think Up is my favorite Pixar film, mainly because it takes risks and it's just so damn original and it's so crazy. When you look back on it, it's like, this is a weird idea, and the places it goes are just as strange And that's what's so appealing about it. It just has so much fun, and it's not trying to stick to any. It's not. It's not. How do I say this? It's not repeating something we've seen before. It's doing something very fresh. And that's one of the good things about Pixar usually, is that they will tackle something, they'll create something on their own that you've never heard of before. And that's, I think, Up is the best example of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the exact same.
Another question.
Yeah, it's the epitome of, like, treating children like they actually have, like, brains.
Yes, definitely. Another question is, have you seen Animals of Farthing Woods or Watership Down? It can be the movie or the TV show. As many people know, I've already reviewed Watership Down. I love that film. So, yeah, I've seen Watership Down. I remember watching the TV show. My connection to the Watership Down TV show was this. I watched an episode at an assembly at school, and my tooth came out. And everyone was really quiet watching it. I was like, ah! There's this idiot child in the back of the room. That's my memory of that show.
So I have seen like Watership Down, and I thought of like a morose sort of movie. Like it was really good, but it's like, oh, whoa. It was better a watch movie for me than Plague Dogs was, because let me get one thing straight. I'm an animal lover through and through, but watching that movie's like, oh no.
Don't watch Felidae.
Yeah.
Never watch Felidae, because that is very hard to handle when it comes to animal cruelty.
I watched Felidae, and I'm going to review Felidae. But I think Felidae is a little bit better because it's got that like crime story to it that was very intriguing. Even though I think like parts of the crime story were kind of stupid, sort of thing. I know that's not like blasphemy to say, but some of the things are like more explained out than like actually like aha.
Yeah. I think that was one of my problems with it, was that. Yeah. But the concept alone is the charm of it for me. It's just brilliant to see someone being so subversive with talking animal characters in an interesting direction. That's not Fritz the cat.
Yeah, I love that like point that you made on it. It's like how all the animals are like moving like this all the time.
Those are really hyperactive cats.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that before. Then the next time I saw it, it's like, holy shit, they won't sit still.
So what else have we got? Did you answer the? Have you seen the Animals of Farthing Wood?
I haven't seen the Animals of Farthing Wood. Right, I don't even know what really that is.
So have you seen the Watership Down TV show?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Right, okay.
I just thought, like, the concept of the Watership Down TV show was kind of weird after I saw the movie. It's like, all the rabbits were dying in the movie. How can you make a TV show about that?
So, another question is, do you like horror movies? Personally, I adore horror films. I really enjoy them. I get a lot out of them. And the thing is, it depends on my mood. Lately, it depends on my mood. Because I can get scared quite easily, very easily, and but at the same time, I tend to watch horror documentaries more than horror movies. By that I mean either documentaries about horror movies or scary documentaries, and they scare me very easily. But horror movies, I adore them. I think they're great if they're done right, and they're really spooky and atmospheric and tense. They're really entertaining, but it is a mood thing for me. I mean, when I first saw The Shining, I found it very difficult because I watched it at night on my own, and I kept turning off the TV, and I was like, I want to carry on. This is amazing, but I'm terrified. And the thing is, my girlfriend really likes horror movies, and so at like 1 o'clock in the morning, she's like, "Let's watch a horror film." I'm like, "What?" And like last night she wanted to watch the Ring remake, and I was like, okay, if that's what you want to watch. And we watched it, and I really got into it. But then afterwards, I was like, I'm not leaving this room to get my cereal now. I'm staying here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoy horror films.
On the other hand, I don't hate horror films. Like I just can't like watch them. Like I get freaked the hell out from them, which is odd because I love like horror cartoons and all that. like a favorite show of mine was like Marked Mystery. It's basically a paranormal investigator, like solving crimes and all that. A Canadian show, yeah. But yeah, the only times I've seen like horror movies is like I'm with friends, or it's like really, really crappy ones, like where you just can't get scared by them. Like I know, like I worked for like one film studio, like where I had to like watch some of their movies, and like one of the movies was called Medium Raw: Night of the Wolf, which is basically like Little Red Riding Hood as a horror movie. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it had like John Rhys Davies in it and all that, who died right away.
Don't kill off John Rhys Davies. That should be
Yeah.
a sin.
Yeah. And I might review some of those someday as just sort of like crossover things, like if I ever like have a friend who's like into horror movies and all that, because those are sort of movies that I want to be nice to the company and basically just give them like more like publicity and all that, because they're very like underground sort of thing.
For me, when it comes to reviewing horror films, I tend to, particularly with animated films, I'm very careful when I review them because there's so little animated horror films. I want to save them for Halloween, because then when it comes to Halloween, it's like, which one do I go for? Because most of the time, I'm like, I don't want to pick something obvious. I don't want to do Paranormal or Coraline or Monster House. Nowadays, I do, but I used to be very hesitant about reviewing ones that were too obvious.
Yeah.
So I would be very careful about when I would review certain animated horror films. But yeah, I'm in the future, I'm definitely going to review more horror films in general. It's just picking them. I mean, one of the for Jam Bites soon, I'm going to be doing House, the Japanese surrealist horror film. Definitely going to do that. It looks so weird. And I'm going to do Horn, starring Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do some horror on this channel soon.
No.
And so this is a question for you, Whyboy. Do you like Rebel Taxi, Lootoons, Joey T, Cartoon, Animat?
Yeah, these are like 4 different YouTubers. Like I have heard of each one of them, so I'll just go down the list. Rebel Taxi, like I think he has a good show. I just don't like the way that he goes about his points. It just seems a little bit. I don't want to be backhanded, but I will say he's kind of backhanded with his sort of compliments or his points. And let's see the list. Yeah, Lootoons. Like he's a nice guy. I've seen more of his Gravity Falls videos, and I think he has a very like a very good perception of them. Like he treats his like topics with a lot of respect, which I really like him for. Joey, like I really like Joey a lot. Like I did a crossover with him on Curse of the Lake Monster, which was a great crossover, which sadly took like a year to complete.
Wow.
All my fault on that, because I was just yeah, it's just all my fault. Like I can't even like come up with a proper excuse for that. Like it just took so long to like put everything together. And Animat,
yeah,
and Animat is a good guy too. Like I haven't watched many of his videos, but he's got a good perception of it. He's got a good voice and all that, and he's got a nice hat, just like Jambareeqi. But it's an orange one.
That's what I kind of like about Animat stuff, is that he usually likes things that a lot of people don't like. Like Ferngully, he really likes Ferngully. It's like, I like people that are willing to express their unpopular opinion. That's very interesting to me. So yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like the ones that are very, very strong with their opinions. Like they're not like insulting with it. After all, it's like, what are you guys thinking? Like I think Tentaclino is the greatest movie of all time.
So another question is, Whyboy, have you ever watched My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic?
I've watched the pilot and I've watched a bunch of reviews on My Little Pony. Like I've watched like Silver Quill, Dr. Wolf, and a bunch of other like MLP reviewers, but I haven't really watched the show because I'm just not into it that much. I do plan on watching like more MLP in the future, because I know like my fans, like a lot of them are bronies or anything, or into the show, so I want to give them something like my opinions on it. So,
definitely.
Yeah, so expect something MLP related when my show comes back.
Maybe do one of the films.
Yeah, I don't want to just jump into one of the films.
Do the classic first generation My Little Pony movie.
I was thinking of like reviewing each and every single like My Little Pony series, just to see like because I first started like reviewing like the Pound Puppies movies. Like I saw like the original '90s series, then I saw the 2010 series, and then I saw the movie of it. Then I was thinking like I can do this with My Little Pony as well, just do a compare and contrast sort of thing.
Mm.
And by the way, I do like the original like Pound Puppies '90s series, like the first season of it, because it sort of has this self-aware charm to it. The second season is just all cutesy and lovey-dovey and all that, like what Care Bears was, and what the first season was mocking for most of the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I've not seen the 2010 version, but I know it's from the creators of Recess.
oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I think it's them. I think it's them.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to tell because I just find like that series to be like, yeah. It is sort of that generic series, like where you just take the content and just do the bare minimum with it.
Mm. So, another question is thoughts on sticking around. I've never heard of sticking around.
Sticking around is awesome. Like it looks like ass. It is basically like stick figure animation, but it's colorful and all that. And it's basically about these two kids, Stacy and Bradley, using their imaginations on their day-to-day lives, sort of thing. Like it's super funny and all that. And you wouldn't expect that with a show that looks that are just stick figures.
Sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
You definitely should check it out.
Definitely.
Like, even just hear the theme song, like it just sticks in your mind. Pun
Brilliant.
intended.
Another question is, do you like Rick and Morty? I've not seen Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty is brilliant. Like I have my friend Nero, who basically has a problem with like the animation style of it. Like it is a weird thing like with adult anime shows, like where you get like these sort of like more uglier sort of animations, like Mr. Pickles, Rick and Morty, Squidbillies, all that. You get like these really like rougher looking shows, and I'm personally fine with it as long as the animation like benefits the theme.
Mm.
Yeah, like with Rick and Morty's, like the one thing that I can't stand about it is like there's these like little like their pupils, like they have little sticks in them, something like that. Like they don't look like actual circles. They look fuzzy. And it's like, oh, what the fuck? Is there something in their eyes? But other than that, like it's a brilliant show. Like Rick is a great jerk character. Like the best jerk characters to me are ones that can basically bitch slap anybody and also have this like heart of gold. And Morty's just a delightful sort of like wimpy character.
Aw. It's one of those shows I do need to give a chance.
Yeah.
So there's another question for you, Whyboy. Are you aware of any of Kubrick's masterpieces?
I haven't really watched any like Stanley Kubrick movies, honestly. And if I have, I probably forgot about it. Like I just don't watch that many like live action sort of movies. All that I always watch animated ones.
That'd be a great quote though to put on a Stanley Kubrick collection. Forgettable.
I'm not sure it's forgettable. I just don't remember if I watched any of them.
That'd be brilliant.
Okay.
Okay, so
From Snaky to Great. Have either of you seen the show? I'm reading a question. Come on.
All right,
Read a Have either of you seen the show Robot Chicken?
I have. I love Robot Chicken. I really love Robot Chicken. If you look at my animation style, it's Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
I really adore Robot Chicken because it's one of those sketch shows that throws fresh things at you constantly. And sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. But that's the thing. It takes risk, and it's like, right, okay, we've got to keep things fresh. Here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. But because there's so many, there's going to be at least one that you find funny. And the problem with a lot of sketch shows, particularly in my country, is that they just do the same joke in a different location for every episode. And it's like... Which is what appeals to me about Monty Python's Flying Circus and Robot Chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just sort of like the thing with sketch shows. Like some of them hit, some of them don't. But Robot Chicken just does like up the ante each and every time. Which is what I love about the show too. Especially with its animation style, like because at the very first season, like I didn't like what it was doing with like even the mouse and all that. Like it was stiff as hell. But then when you go down the seasons, like the animation got better, and I thought the humor got a lot more stronger.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up question is favorite Robot Chicken episode. Can't tell them apart.
I can't tell them apart either. I couldn't remember. Like, let's just go with like favorite Robot Chicken segment.
Sketch. Yeah.
Yes, sketch or segment.
Yeah.
Think. I love anything that has to do with like oddly enough the comic book superheroes. Like those are usually like they put a whole like DC special together, and that was like hilarious through and through. Like I can remember the one where like Batman and Green Lantern, where Batman is like flying on a green boat over Doomsday and all that.
Brilliant.
That was great.
I can't think of my favorite. I really can't because there's just so many of them, and I can't.
Yeah, it's so hard.
I'm sorry. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one. One might come back later. Another question is thoughts on Kevin Smith. Personally, I really do like his sense of humor. I think he's a very talented writer. Sometimes he can get a bit too immature and a bit too grotesque, and it's like, wait, what? It's a bit too much. It's a bit too much sometimes, but sometimes it's very funny. And like, because I can have a disgusting sense of humor, but it depends how you pull off that gross out joke. And sometimes Kevin does a great job with it. Sometimes it's kind of like, what? Particularly with like one of his stories from even Kevin Smith, he tells this story about how he got a tiny dog, and one of the dogs was very hormonal and just got very graphic and detailed. It's like, so sometimes it's very funny, sometimes it's like, that's a bit too much information.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, but I think the inherent problem with Kevin Smith films is that it does not embrace the rule show don't tell. It is pretty much about his dialogue, which is fine. It's a showcase for his dialogue, which is why I kind of think that he would work better as a novelist or a radio playwright or something like that, or a theatre writer, because his strength is his dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have much to add on that. Like, I think it's the exact same thing. Like, I can't even like remember most of Kevin Smith's stuff because, again, I'm just terrible with names and like connecting them to like their movies and all that.
Okay, I'm gonna list them. So it's Clerks, Clerks 2, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jersey Girl, Jane and Silent Bob Strike Back, Red State. I'm trying to remember some other stuff now he's done. Red State. Oh, why they've disappeared from Cop Out. Tusk. He's done Tusk as well.
Oh, yes.
And Zack and Mira Make a Porno. Nowadays he does very serious things, which is interesting. It's interesting going in a different direction from his usual View Askew universe.
Yeah.
So I've not seen them. I really want to see Red State because I've seen a Q&A for Red State, and the behind the scenes was very interesting because Westboro Baptist Church got involved. So I really want to see. That's the thing. When he screened Red State, the Phelps family came to the screening, and they actually gave him like a balcony viewing, and I think they did a Q&A with them afterwards. And like, I want to see Red State. I really do, because the concept sounds interesting. And that's what I kind of like about Kevin Smith, because he's a very dedicated Christian Catholic. But he's not afraid to criticize his own religion or satirize his own religion, and that's really interesting to me. I like that. So yeah, that's our thoughts on Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Another question is, have you seen a movie called A Serbian Film?
No.
I have seen. I can't remember if it was Cinema Snobs or Owen Citizen's review of A Serbian Film, so I know what happens. I know exactly what happens in it all the way through.
Yeah.
Which is why I've not seen the film, because like, okay, I know what's in this, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. Yeah, I've seen Owen Simpson's and Felix's review of it, and I'm like, nope. I don't even like horror movies, I'm not watching this.
Yeah, we've not seen it.
Yeah, no.
But there was There's a film that's similar. What is it called now? Solo.
What? So,
Solo, 50 Days of Sodom. Probably not pronouncing that right.
uh,
It's kind of a similar sort of film that's trying to be political, but also a bit grotesque and gross out.
yeah. It's just
Yeah,
very hard to like handle the gross out sort of stuff because as soon as you do gross out, like that can just overtake any sort of theme that you want to go with.
exactly. It can cloud over your original intention.
Yeah. So even from just watching the reviews, I think the Serbian film is just super pretentious as fuck. And like the director just really needs to look at himself, just think, if I actually want to make a message, why did I frame it like this? With no porn. Uh, uh,
Another
okay.
question. Another question is our thoughts on Tomorrowland. Well, it's not come out over here yet, so I don't really have any thoughts on it. I don't think it's come out over here. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I've
And I
not seen
haven't
it
seen it
streamed anywhere.
either. Yeah,
I've
I
not seen
haven't
it
seen it
streamed
either.
anywhere.
So,
But like,
yeah.
I'm interested in it because Brad Bird.
Hmm.
Brad Bird is a
Yeah.
genius. So
Yeah.
I want to see it because of him.
Yeah.
But I've not even been to the actual ride, so I don't know what it's like. But if whatever Brad Bird's attached to, I will want to see it.
Hmm. Like I haven't seen Tomorrowland at all, and I haven't really like had sort of inclination to see it because I'm mostly just into animated movies and all that. So yeah, a little bit close-minded me, but yeah, I just have better things to do with my time. And like it is just so expensive to go to the movie theaters all the time.
It is definitely, yeah. I mean, I'd review more cinema release films if I had more money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's which is why I tend to stick to vlogs of cinema released animated films because they rarely come out.
Yeah.
So I kind of stick to those. So another question is, will you review Easter Bunny Puppy? I've never heard of this film.
Oh god damn it, Shadow Dancer. It's basically one of those like cheap direct to DVD ones. Like it's basically the director made like 50 different movies at his house. Like he made Easter Bunny Puppy and a talking cat.
Oh,
And a
I've heard
bunch
of
of,
that.
yeah, and a bunch of other different ones. When will I review it? I kind of want to review it, so I'm not sure. Maybe someday, but yeah. I would actually just like to see it, maybe as like a live riff or something like that.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So another question is, why boy your favorite and worst Disney films?
Favorite and worst. I can't really think of a worst one. Oh wait, actually I can. Worst one, the Aristocats.
Ah.
Like most of the stories just feel disconnected to me. Like we had the two dogs in the butler, the cats trying to get home, and two geese coming in. Like they don't feel like they all connect. It feels like they just pop up, then pop away, and that's it. It creates a very subtle, like weird sit that's just to sit through.
I can understand. I think for me, I can't get annoyed at it or bored of it because of my nostalgic connection to it, and just Phil Harris as Thomas O'Malley. I just love Phil Harris.
Yeah.
He's got this fantastic, charming voice.
Yeah. The cats in the movie are like the best part. Like if it was just all focused on the cats, I would have been fine with it. Like if we only saw the butler at the beginning and end of it, but then we always have to like go back to him, like getting all the evidence and all that. Like, why am I watching this? I don't really care. Like my favorite one, like Fantasia. I'll go with that. But let's just go a little bit deeper with that. Like, what's another one? Like one that I seen recently is Mulan. Like Mulan is a very good movie, and especially nowadays with like feminism on the rise and all that. Like Mulan is such a strong female character. Like, she can be pretty and all that, but she can also kick ass and all that. It just takes charge of her life, which is what I really like about her as a female character.
I do really enjoy Mulan. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. Except like I know some people like say like the Hun, like and the main guy. Like what's the main guy's name? Like the main bad guy's name?
I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Like the main one is a horrible villain. Except I started to like think of it as a different way. Like it's not like one villain that's basically like the force in it. It's like the whole army, like the Hun army. If you take it as like that, then you're like, oh my god, these are like horrible people. Like they burn villages down. Like then you can start to think of them as like these are pretty good villains as well.
Mm.
Like that's just how I perceive it. Still, the main bad guy is like forgettable as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't remember his name.
Yeah.
So I've got a question. So it's Jambareeqi. How long did it take to make all your puppets for War Days? Probably longer than it should have done. One of the main reasons why the production had such a short schedule is because it took months and months to get them to actually. I don't know about months, probably a month. I don't know. Because it just took a long time to get not just the resources, but get them stuck together and working, and just just every part took days to do because it wouldn't work, or it wouldn't connect, it wouldn't stick, things fell apart. I had to learn how to sew, so it took longer than it should have done. If someone else was making the puppets, then maybe I would have had more time. And another question is for either of you: what is your favorite movie of each genre? Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah. I don't think I could answer that. I can't even remember enough to do that.
That's a lot. Can we just have one genre?
Yeah, let's just go with favorite genre. Favorite genre. I already answered mine. Like I don't have one. Like actually, we did already answer that together.
Yeah. I can't think really for each genre. I really can't think of each genre. I really don't like. My favorite horror film would have to be The Shining, possibly, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of genres out there, and there's a lot of films out there. So I don't, off the top of my head, I can't answer that.
Yeah.
That's like a questionnaire.
Yeah, exactly. I can't answer it either, unfortunately.
Sorry to that. I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah.
Where? I'm trying to scroll up. For Jambareeqi Whyboy, favorite and worst DreamWorks movies. Favorite DreamWorks film would be How to Train Your Dragon 2. But I'd also say the Kung Fu Panda movies I really like as well.
Yeah.
But least favorite DreamWorks films, it's a mix of Shark Tale and the first Madagascar. Shark Tale, obvious reasons. It's a very gimmicky movie, very, very gimmicky and obnoxious, incredibly obnoxious. The only thing that makes me forgive Shark Tale is Martin Scorsese, because he's just great in that film, and it's fantastic to hear him voice act, because he is a great voice actor. He's a good actor, and used to do more acting. But Madagascar, I can't stand because the characters never shut up. And I remember waiting at the doctor's one time, and I was already nervous about going to the doctor's, and someone had left the Madagascar DVD menu on, and even that doesn't shut up. And like that made me hate the film even more. I was like, oh my. I was hearing these like, shut up. Like the saving grace, I definitely would say the Penguins of Madagascar were very fun in the first movie. I really liked them. But I haven't watched the sequels because I just can't stand the characters because they've got verbal diarrhea.
Yeah, Madagascar isn't like that great of a series. Like I do enjoy the movies, like more for the visual stylings of it, especially in the third one. Like in the very, very big climax, like it's a visual treat to say the least. But they're just very generic sort of thing. Like the villains in the first movie were basically just a bunch of lions, and that was boring. Yeah, they do have verbal diarrhea, and that just became boring. And the sequel, like I didn't like the giraffe or the hippo because I just felt like their entire subplot's like I don't care if they get together. It's still weird.
Hippopotamus giraffe babies.
Yes, exactly.
and
the whole thing was like in the sequels, like the Chris Tucker, like a bunch of zebras. Like, oh my God, there's like 100 of them.
Is it Chris Rock?
Maybe.
Rock. Yeah.
Like, it's Chris.
A lot of
Chris Rock.
I love Chris Tucker's I'd be out. I'd be totally out. One is enough.
I have no idea. I can't even remember. But there is a certain charm to each of the movies, even in the midst of all that like blandness in it. Like basically, the penguins are the best part, but
Mm,
they basically are like a helpful side dish to the movie. They aren't the main course.
yeah. Which is why I'm interested.
Yeah,
Why I'm
but
interested in the spin-off.
yeah, but I basically got to get back to the actual question, like favorite and what. Like Shark Tale will be the worst because it was the most boring of the bunch that I can't even remember now. And like favorites, I have to say it's a tie between the first Kung Fu Panda, the first How to Train Your Dragon, and I thought there was something else, but yeah, those are the two that I really love out of the most. Like I just sat back and watched all three of the Kung Fu Panda, like all three.
Two.
Yeah,
It's not-
the third one's coming out.
yeah.
That's what's messing me up.
Apparently, Bryan Cranston is going to voice Poe's dad.
Oh.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah,
the one that
and
knocked you out.
yeah, I'm not sure what they're gonna do with the third one, but like the series has been surprising me more time, a lot of times because I just love the Kung Fu Panda movies a lot.
Oh,
Like they're
definitely.
funny, action packed, and all that, and even so emotional as well.
Oh, yes. They get so sentimental and deep, and you're like, whoa, it's
Like
powerful stuff.
yeah, and you wouldn't expect that from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just like even the show, I would say is above like most other shows.
I love the theme song for the show. I love it.
Yeah,
It's so catchy.
yeah,
You just get so
yeah,
hyped up about it. It's like, dum dum dum. Oh, yes, okay, let's go.
yeah. Yeah, it's great. Uh,
So another question is, have you seen the horror film called ABCs of Death? I have not. I've not seen that, but I know one of the directors is British and an animator. One of the segments is, I don't think it's the first one or the second one. Lee Hardcastle is one of the
yep,
second.
Lee Hardcastle and T is for toilet. I have seen that segment, and it's so gory as hell. Like Lee Hardcastle is a fantastic animator.
Oh, definitely. He's so
Yeah,
talented.
yeah, yeah. I've also seen like his movie Ghost Burger, and that was really awesome too.
Yeah, to see that. So yeah, I've
But
not
yeah,
seen. I've not seen ABCs of Death.
yeah,
Oh,
okay.
you're-
Yeah. That's it. I haven't seen it. I don't like horror movies, so let's just move on. From Pride, yeah. So what's Pride Lands Queen '77? What's the most disappointing movie you've watched? It's like
They don't
anime
have to
movies,
be from
you
your
could say.
reviews, but they must be animated.
Disappointing. Disappointing. I will have to go into my reviews because this was a huge disappointment. Open Season.
Hmm.
Like, if people have seen my review of it, like I like thrashed this movie because it's so shitty. But I didn't go into it wanting to hate it. Like basically, here's the story of it. Like I was home from school and all that, and I was thinking like I got all these review movies, and I'm going to watch them all and put my notes down. And then my mother comes downstairs and she's sick and all that. So I'm thinking like, oh, I can't put on a shitty movie while she's here. But I recorded Open Season. Let's watch that instead. Because I heard it was supposed to be good. But then we both hated it. So yeah, that's the most disappointing movie I've watched.
For me, I'm going to go with two. First of all, Wind Rises. I was expecting so much from the last movie from Hayao Miyazaki. I was expecting it to be brilliant, especially from all the reviews, and it just turned out to be this shallow, underwhelming movie that was really melodramatic and had so much tonal conflict. It just has so many problems. I wanted to love it, but I just
Yeah.
couldn't. And the other would be Horton Hears a Who. I didn't have huge expectations for it, but I was
Yeah.
hoping that it would be at least decent. Because it's Jim Carrey doing a voiceover, and Jim Carrey
Yeah.
was born to do voice acting. But Horton Hears a Who is dreadful. Nothing happens. Nothing. Just no,
Yeah.
nothing. It's just stuff, and it pans out so much. Even the finale drags on
Yeah.
and on. It's like, It's a film about nothing. I just
Yeah.
got so uninvested in it, but I thought I need to get through this. I need to watch this and at least know that I've watched this film.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'm actually a lot more kinder to it, but I agree with you on every point. Like, it's a movie that basically nothing happens to it. It is the point A to point B movie, but Horton does nothing, and Jim Carrey is he is very annoying in it.
Yes, yeah.
That's what-
That's so sad because like he needs to do more voice acting. He is a cartoon, so he needs to do it more. But it's a shame that that's one of the only that he's done.
yeah.
So another one is for Whyboy and Jambareeqi, between Shrek, Toy Story, or Epic. Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Toy Story is a masterpiece. It
Epic's
really
not
is.
even close.
Yeah.
You can't even compare them.
Yeah. Toy Story is just a brilliant movie. It just everything about it is very, very strong. It's a really strong story. It's a solid movie with lovable characters, and it's so entertaining, and it really holds up.
I can't add anything to that because that's correct.
So a lot of these are just statements.
I shall also die of buns and go to Kubrick hell along with Quran.
Most of my friends haven't watched many Stanley Kubrick films. So, for Jambareeqi and Whyboy, do you like aficionados Chris, Emma, Provost, Mr. Etna?
I don't know who Emperor Provost is. I know Mr. Enter. I've seen
Oh, wait,
some of
Mr.
his.
Enter, alright.
Yeah. Or
I've heard
it's
of him.
Mr. Enter. Yeah. Like he does like TV show episode reviews, and I've seen a few of his. Like one of his recent ones on the Family Guy episode that's basically all about herpes.
Right.
Family Guy, classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's good and entertaining. I haven't seen Aficionado Chris or no Provost. I don't even know who that is.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I've not really seen any of those. I really haven't. Everyone's going on about Mysterious Mr. Enter, so he's definitely on my watch list. So I will be watching him next. He's definitely on my watch list.
Yeah.
So the next question is, have you guys watched Food Fight yet? I've seen enough reviews of it to know what's in there. I've seen Failus' review and I've seen the Nostalgia Critics review. Once you've seen those reviews, you know what's going to be there.
Yeah.
And because of that, I wouldn't do a review of it because it would just be like, yeah, this is what it is. I'll be copy and pasting the same thoughts and opinions as these other people because there's nothing else you could really say about what's being thrown at the audience.
Yeah.
There really isn't. And you wouldn't. I think a lot of people that would click a Food Fight review, they would expect the person to be like, what is this? What is this? And I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't be shocked. I've seen reviews of it already, so I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be taken back. I'd be like, this is Food Fight. This is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I always kick myself because I did like watch the movie of it before like any of these reviews came out, and I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to review this and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be like leading the charge in it. But then I was like, yeah, I'll just put it to the side. Put it to the Nostalgia Critics review came out of it. Then Failus is like, fuck, I can't talk about it now. But yeah, it is as bad as all those reviews made it out to be.
But I think the thing with Food Fight is that at least it's hilariously bad in terms of its animation. It looks hilariously bad, and it looks riffable. I mean, the animation for that guy played by Christopher Lloyd is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just like, at least it's funny bad animation. It's better than just bad, boring animation.
Yeah.
It's entertainingly bad. At least Food Fight's a bit colourful as well.
Yeah. It's sort of sad because like in Failus' review, you can see like where it first started off. You can see the animation was actually really good.
Yeah.
Not really good, but passable.
Better than what they ended up with.
Yeah, and then like I'm going to be mean to say this, but I don't believe like it was like espionage that basically ruined their movie. I think more clearly like somebody fucked up and they lost most of their footage and ruined it themselves. I think that's a lot more believable than corporate espionage.
Yeah. So you've got another question. What's your favorite Tom and Jerry episode?
I can't remember I can't remember like just a specific one. I have seen Tom and Jerry. I have seen the Tom and Jerry movie. I've seen like the new show, the newer show, and a bunch of the new movies. But I can't really say like one of them's like my super all-time favorite though. Like Tom and Jerry is great, even when they're like little lackluster. Like I think of the newer movies and all that, like they betray themselves by having so many characters that talk in them, besides Tom and
Mm,
Jerry, because it really just makes them seem out of place.
definitely.
Especially in the Tom and Jerry movie where they talked. They weren't Tom and Jerry.
I remember one time, my friend Zeph, uh, in the middle of the night, we couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because someone was making love in the other room, and Zeph just came over randomly. I think he was already over because he was dating my flatmate at the time. I can't remember, but like he had some Ben and Jerry's, and we're like, oh, let's watch Tom and Jerry's while eating Ben and Jerry's. It was like, this is better than putting up with those noises. But yeah, Tom and Jerry, I had a box set collection, and like I watched so many of them that I can't remember a specific episode, because they don't technically have a separate identity. It's all in the execution.
Yeah.
It's not about the idea. It's how they pull off all this slapstick and how they time it and how funny it is and how they So
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely.
It's just too hard to like pull out just one sort of like story out of all that because there aren't really stories.
Definitely, but I definitely remember Tom and Jerry Kids. I remember waking up to that every morning.
I remember Tom and Jerry Kids too. I love Tom's little hat because that was adorable. It was adorable.
It was so cute. So another question is, Jambareeqi, you said that you have seen most extreme movies, but will you ever watch Tokyo Gore Police or Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein Girl? I get loads of people talking about those movies, and maybe I'll give them a chance, but like I've said many times before, I'm not that interested in gore compared to when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, I seeked out violent, horrible, grotesque films. Nowadays, I'm like, I want to watch a film about talking animals or fairies, because I want to be in a good mood, because I live a life that's very busy and it can be stressful.
Yeah.
Because I've been at university, because I'm trying to find a job. With these kind of things, you want to watch something that's going to keep you upbeat and optimistic. So those are not the kind of films I put on. But maybe one day my girlfriend would drag me on to see it, because she really likes Asian horror, so maybe she'll... No, wait, she doesn't like gore, though, so... So, I don't know, but I will probably give those films a chance, but they're not films I'm like, ooh, I want to see that. But there is one Japanese violent, gory film I do want to give a chance, just because the title sounds so strange. It's called Meatball Machine, and the front cover just has this machine connected to someone's eyes, and it's like, what is that? The title alone just is a genius title. I just love that title. It's such a strange title. So yeah, I might talk about that, might watch them, might review them. Don't know. It's a mood thing. With any movie, it's a mood thing. It's definitely a mood thing. It's even when reviewing films, it's like, what kind of film do I feel like watching? I'm not going to review a film where I feel like, no, that's not what I'm in the mood for. It's like, I was going to do Plague Dog straight after doing Watership Down, then I was like, no, I can't do that. So, which is why it's just jumped to a SpongeBob straight after, because like you need that softening. You need to be softened straight after.
Yeah.
I know that Whyboy won't watch those movies.
No, I'm not into gore. Like I recognize that none of this is real, but because my brain just like registers it's still real. It's like, no.
It's the illusion. The illusion can be so convincing sometimes that you believe it, which is that's what makes good special effects and makeup effects.
Yeah. So
another question is, Jambareeqi Whyboy, favorite nostalgia critic review? Mine is always and definitely will be Disney Afternoon. What that show is capable of doing and what the heart of the show should be. It should be about nostalgia. It should be about being a kid again and embracing that and criticizing that. And I think that episode does a great job of it, while also being a bit a bit dark and mean-spirited as well. It's not afraid to keep that nostalgia critic sense of humor, but it's also a very fun episode that presents a wide variety of content. It's just so much that he addresses, so many shows that he talks about, and that's what makes it such a fun episode full of so much variety.
Okay, well, I have to agree because that is a great episode, but I'll just go with like my favorite episode being the first episode I ever watched, Nostalgia Critic, the Titanic the Animated Musical. Like, that is a classic one to watch. Like, it just got me into it because after that I watched all of his reviews on all the anime movies, then all of his reviews all together, and kept rewatching them, and that just made me a fan of his. And another favorite of mine is A Troll in Central Park, because not only is it all hilarious, because I used it to post my very first episode, Cartoon Corner, A Troll in Central Park, and that got me quite a few views. I piggybacked off him. And I'll say that like clear flat out, I did that because I needed some promotion to basically like up my views on YouTube, and I knew like right after like he posted that, people would write A Troll in Central Park review. What's this, Cartoon Corner? Get that.
That's the thing with what we do, is because of the position we're in, we have to pretty much exploit certain kinds of things and work around marketing to get a bigger audience. As unfortunate as it is, you could call it selling out, but that's the lengths we have to go to, because it's in the environment that YouTube is now. It's so difficult to be found. So you have to find out what's popular and embrace it, even if it's not your cup of tea. You've got to kind of try, at least, to try and get into it and talk about it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's just attach another question to this nostalgia critic question, because it just sort of goes together. Like, what? Let's see. For Jambareeqi, favorite AVGN review. The Angry Video Game Nerd. Nostalgia critic and Angry Video Game Nerd. Just a match made in heaven.
For me, it is possibly the Rob the Robot episode, because it's just so imaginative and it gets so creative. I really love the Rob the Robot episode. I really enjoy that one, so I'm going to go with that one.
And I'll go with Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. I just feel like the comedy was, I feel the comedy was top notch in that. And the name is just so weird.
It's great. It's really great. Yeah, so yeah, I like those. Another question is, what do you guys think of Disney sequels? I've not seen that many, to be honest. I really haven't, because I know that they're not going to be that great. I've mainly watched the Disney sequels that are made by my friend Elliot Bohr. He did the Kronk's New Groove and Springtime with Rue, and because they're all done by a studio called Disney Toon Studios, which fascinates me. I love that studio. That's their department. They were in charge of making Disney sequels. That was their career. That's really interesting to me. So I've seen those ones, but I also saw Return of Jafar, Lion King 2, Lion King 3. Lion King 3 wasn't too bad for what it was. It is an insult to the first movie, but it's supposed to be in a way.
Lion King 3? You mean Lion King 1.5?
Yeah, oh yes, it's 1.5 in your country. We have it. Ours is 3.
That makes no sense.
It does basically fart all over the first movie, literally.
Yeah, it does.
But
it does.
I find it so funny. I find it a very funny, charming film, and I love the song Dig a Tunnel. It's a really catchy song. So I do like Lion King 3. Lion King 2 is pure fan fiction.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of holes in that film, but this nostalgia clowns it for me. I went nostalgic for that film.
Yeah, those are the same movies. Those are the same movies I've seen. Like, I loved Lion King 1.5, even if it does like shit all over the first movie. But yeah, I'm a big boy, and I can just take that a little bit. And I did like Timon and Pumbaa, even though and Timon did come and form as a character in the end of it. Like, he was brave and all that, even though it was still totally retconned and all that. and Lion King 2 is completely just Lion King, but Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, pretty much. But I've also seen the Lilo and Stitch sequels as well, because I'm a huge fan of the Lilo and Stitch franchise.
Yeah.
But as I've mentioned in my review, I'm kind of like on the edge with number 2. It's kind of like it has so many problems, particularly the message. A horrible, horrible message to give to kids. If you love someone enough, they'll come back to life. I hate that message, but there are things in it that really work, that are really great. Like Stitch trying to get over and deal with this glitch it's really well handled.
Yeah.
But so many stupid decisions made by the characters, and the characters are so dumb in that movie. But like I don't really remember Stitch the movie that well. And I don't really remember Leroy and Stitch that well. I remember Leroy and Stitch having a really awesome finale where all the experiments just have this massive brawl in an arena. But that was really cool. And the series is pretty cool as well. I've seen Extremely Goofy Movie, which was okay for what it was. I think the Monster University did the same thing but better. Really, to be honest. I can't think of any others. Jungle Book 2 is terrible.
Which one?
Jungle Book 2.
Jungle Book 2.
Even as a kid, I was like, this is awful. How did this get a theatrical release? It's baffling. It is one of those films I might do like a quick vlog of or something, or go back to, because it's like, it needs to be known how terrible it is. Because it just went off the radar, because nothing happens in that movie. It's kind of like watching a school play trying to reenact the first Jungle Book movie. It's the first movie again. That's all that happens.
Wow,
Nothing
nice.
happens in it. Another question is, by the way, did you answer the question?
Well, I didn't really answer, but basically I've seen all the ones that you've seen, and I did plan on doing like a Disney sequel month sort of thing. Yeah. Then Doug didn't like the Disney December. It's like, shit. And then I tried to think of something different. Like, what if I did something like Disney Sequelitis or something like that? Like where I review every movie that had a sequel to it. So I review like Aladdin on one day, and then like basically partnering with it, I review all the sequels with it.
All right. Okay.
Maybe I'll still do that someday. But that's basically my thoughts on that.
Awesome. So another question is, have you seen Saving Mr. Banks or Waking Sleeping Beauty? I've not seen Saving Mr. Banks. It is one of the films that I'm wanting to see because I love Emma Thompson, I love Tom Hanks, and I love films that are about the film industry, so I do want to see it. Waking Sleeping Beauty, I have it somewhere. Yeah, one sec, I've got it. I have it. I have watched this film a million times. It is for those of you who don't know, it's a documentary about the Disney Renaissance years, and it's brilliant. It's really good. Yeah. The only thing is that it does focus more on the men in suits, the businessmen, the chairmen, more than the animators. Yeah. So I do kind of wish it did that. But for what it is, it's really interesting and very insightful. And if you're very interested in behind the scenes of the Disney studio and you want to see what it was like back in the 90s and all the directors and the well-known people that you remember from the credits, seeing them working, that's what it offers.
Yeah.
And it's just a really wonderful film. It's one of those rewatchable films for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen like either movies, but when you bring up that, it makes you remember like Dear Mr. Watterson, like that wonderful documentary on Calvin and Hobbes. Like that is an amazing movie. Like it shows like all these people, like famous actors, like some actors, writers, like producers, and all their thoughts on the series, like Calvin and Hobbes, and how they were affected by it. And it is one of those like sort of rewatchable movies too. Like I actually have the DVD of it in my collection, and if you'll add this movie, I think because it's that sort of the same thing, where you see like the emotions of it, like how it affects people and all that.
I want to check that out now. I've not even seen Calvin and Hobbes, and I want to check that out.
You haven't read Calvin and Hobbes?
No, wasn't one of those things I grew up with. It's a very American thing, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I feel like it's a very Western thing. I haven't seen it around. Maybe I just missed out on it.
No, you missed out on it. You're not cool like me.
Oh, another question. This is food related.
Whoa,
Bangers and mash or pizza? Which
pizza.
do you prefer?
Pizza.
I'm probably going to say pizza as much as I do love bangers and mash. I really do. I really do enjoy. But pizza is just So good.
Yeah, pizza is just the best.
I love pizza.
Except when it's too greasy, and then it's just like, oh no, I can't eat that.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I kind of prefer takeaway pizza more than anything, though. There's just something about it, and the excitement of waiting for it to arrive that gives that extra
Yeah,
flavor, that
yeah,
extra satisfaction.
yeah. I do like those little like store-bought pizzas where you just see it rise up in the oven. Yeah,
Imagine you just watching like, getting bigger.
yeah. Like they do taste like the most juiciest out of any pizza that I have. That,
Yeah,
or either going to like the pizza shop and just getting a slice from there.
yeah. So another question is, have you seen a gory cartoon called Happy Tree Friends? I have, and I got bored of it very
Yeah,
quickly. The novelty of the joke just runs out so fast. It's like,
yeah,
okay, it's cute little talking animals, killing each other. Okay, once
yeah.
that joke's done, it's done. It's like, okay, I got bored of that very fast.
I was the exact same way. I just watched a few episodes of it and it's like, eh, that's it.
It would have worked as a short film, but I just don't see the appeal as a series. The joke's
Yeah.
been done.
Yeah, it's just them dying in different sort of situations.
And the
Like I
guy,
even I even had to like review a few video games based off the Happy Tree Friends for like my past job and another online magazine.
mm,
It's just like it's just the same thing. It's like okay, they're just killing each other. Other than that, it's just a fun game.
what frustrates me more is that the guys who made Happy Tree Friends also made this brilliant show where it was kind of like Spider-Man, Batman, but they were really weird. It was a
Yeah,
trippy show. It was like,
yeah.
I can't remember what it's
Bat-
called now.
Batman and Spider-Man or something like that.
Something
Something like
like
that.
that. It
Good
was
time.
really fun and just so relaxing. I
Yeah,
binge watched it. I binge watched it. I liked it so much, and the fact that it's just being like put aside for Happy Tree Friends is depressing.
yeah. Yeah, but they did do like a Kickstarter or something for like a new season. I know that.
Oh, that would be
So,
good.
yeah, so that's coming back, I believe.
I would love to see that. It's just such a wonderful show. It's just so imaginative
Yeah,
and so trippy, and just I love it. I
yeah,
need to watch it again because I loved been watching it.
yeah.
Um, so we've answered that one. Why boy? Thoughts on John Waters? Because I answered about John Waters in my last live
I
stream.
don't, I don't know who that is.
I need to introduce it.
And another thing, I don't know who Guy Ritchie is.
Oh. So,
So
my
stop asking me about people. I don't know people.
give him titles. So yeah, in my last live stream, I said what I thought of John Waters. I think he's a genius. He combines 1940s, 1950s glamour with subversive, transgressive filth
Yeah.
to create this original, fantastic style of filmmaking. There's just nothing else like a John Waters film. He's so original, so funny, and so entertaining, and he just goes all out, and they're so fun. His movies are fun. They're really fun. And Guy Ritchie, I've only seen one of his films, the one where Brad Pitt has that accent, that pikey accent. I think that's Snatch. I think it's Snatch. Yeah, I don't remember it very well, but I remember being entertained by it. I've not seen that much else of Guy Ritchie, to be honest. Another question is thoughts on Cowboys of Moo Mesa. I've not seen it, but I have seen Nostalgia Critic's editorial review of it.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
only connection to it. I didn't grow up with it.
Yep, that's the same for me, and that's the same for Count Duckula and Robonic Stooges. Is that what it is?
I've never heard of those. I've heard of Count Duckula, because that's a British show, but Robonic Stooges I've never heard of.
Or maybe Robotic Stooges? I still haven't heard
I
of it. I heard
hope
of the
that's the
Three
Three
Stooges.
Stooges as robots, because that would be amazing. I would watch that.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. So, yeah, we don't really know some of them.
That's it. Yeah, we got a few shows that we're going to give our thoughts on. So let's just run through them. Star Wars, The Clone Wars Rebels.
I've not even seen the first Clone Wars show.
Yeah, I've seen the first Clone Wars short, I've seen the second one, and I've seen Rebels. Yeah, I'm fine with all of them. I like the first one the best because it has the best art style to it, and it has the most, like, involving some narrative. Clone Wars, I don't like the sculpted style of it. It just looks too clean for me. It's the same problem that I have with the animation in the movie. Like, it just looks weird. It doesn't help that I don't really like Star Wars to begin with.
That's the thing for me, is like, I really like the Star Wars movies, but I've just not gone out to the other sides of it. I'm not a super fan. I'm a film fan, so I really enjoy the movies. I even really enjoyed the prequels as a guilty pleasure.
Everyone, like, kill him!
I can't help it. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
They're so campy and silly and cheesy. I find it hard to hate them. Yeah. I really do. It's like, I know they've got problems, but it's like,
yeah,
there's just something about them that's like really cheesy and silly and fun. So another question. This is from Bluehead Cyborg, one of our friends from our podcast of Babblegum. His question is, when are either of you guys going to tackle Paprika? It's on my schedule. It's definitely on my schedule.
Yeah, I've only seen it. I wasn't really planning on reviewing it, though, because no one's really asked me to.
See, I've not seen any reviews of it, so I feel as if that I wouldn't have any other influences if I talked about it. I've seen lots of reviews of Satoshi Kon films, yeah, but I've not seen any reviews of Paprika, so I think I could possibly do that, but not yet.
Yeah, monopolize that market.
So another question is, Jambareeqi Whyboy, Malcolm in Middle or Breaking Bad? Do you want to go for this one?
I haven't really seen Breaking Bad except for a few episodes while in writing school, so I'll have to go with Malcolm in the Middle. But that's still a great show too. It's just that perfect sort of jerk family that's still like all loving. Like, that's a real pet peeve of my most TV shows. Like, if the family's like too awful together, then I just start thinking like, why the fuck are they still together? Why aren't social services coming in to separate them all?
Family Guy.
Yeah, Family Guy. Yeah, man. Like, fuck, how is that family still together? What you knocked in the middle is that sort of like, it's that sort of like perfect mix of hateful humor and sort of loving family comedy.
Oh, definitely. It does a really good job of being mean-spirited, but also really sweet and tender at the same time, which is a very hard balance to do. That Family Guy fails at miserably.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I've only seen the first 2 episodes of Breaking Bad because I found it hard to carry it on. I wanted to carry it on because it was so good, but emotionally, I didn't think I was in the mood to carry it on because I was starting to think like a serial killer and trying to empathize with them and think like, how can they do this? How can they hide the body? How are they going to get away with this? And I was like, whoa! The time I was seeing it, I was not wanting to be in that place.
Yeah.
So I need to go back to it, but the thing is, the box sets are very expensive, so it's kind of like, when I really want to get back into it, I will get back into it.
Yeah.
But between them, because I've seen it more, because I really, really love it, I'm going to go with Malcolm in the Middle. I love Malcolm in the Middle. It's one of my top 10 favorite TV shows.
Yeah.
It's so entertaining. And like I said, it balances mean-spirited humor with heartfelt sentimentality really well. Really, really well.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny, and the characters are really strong and lovable. You love the characters, even though they're so mean. They're just great characters. I really love Malcolm in the Middle. It's just a great show.
Yeah, it is.
Really good show.
Yeah.
Thoughts on God and the Devil and Bob? Not seen it.
I have seen it, and it's a fine show. It's that sort of like one season of 13 episodes sort of deals. And it's all right. It's not super great. Not super bad. Like, I like the devil in it because he's a little bit more feminine than most other devils that are out there. And you just really get a feeling that God is an asshole in this. It's like, thank you. That's what God is to me.
So the next question is thoughts on sticking around. Whyboy's already said his opinion. I have no opinion. Not seen it.
Next one is SpongeBob movie or the SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water. I have seen the first movie, and I think that's one of the that's a awesome movie for SpongeBob. I think it's hilarious and all that. I've not seen the sequel though, but I really plan on it. it's like after the movie that the show went downhill for me.
For me, I'm going to go with the SpongeBob movie because it's a much stronger film. It's a much highly stronger film. But I still love Sponge Out of Water. Its story is all over the place, but that's what makes it so damn fun because it's really trippy and crazy, and it's just so over the top and insane and like, what? What's going?
Yeah.
What? Squidward's a dinosaur now? Okay, right. What? There's like a dolphin with like, oh, it's just crazy. It's a crazy. That's what makes it so fun. It's a fun movie. But the first movie, as a film, is stronger and more solid as a story, as a narrative.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I'd say the first one is a better movie. But I had more fun with the second film because it's just so colourful and wacky and crazy and insane. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, I said my thoughts already.
So another question is, what do you think of the Disney parks? I've only been to Disneyland Paris, and I loved Space Mountain. The thing is, I'm not very good with rides because I don't like looking down. I don't like being aware of where I am and being that high. But with Space Mountain, you haven't got a clue where you are, and you can still get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And you see these beautiful cosmic visions, and like, so I went on that ride about 3 times, and me and the person that I was on with, every time they launched the rocket, we shouted some kind of rude words. or some kind of like STD, or like just shouting. It was just the weirdest thing, but like I had so much fun in that ride.
No, I haven't been to Disneyland since I was like 8 or something, but I did love it back then. Except I did have this fear of like costumed mascots. It's a silly fear, but as a kid, it just seemed like they were going to kidnap me. They just look like that. They look so cute and cuddly, but you don't know who they are on the inside.
That's brilliant. See, my neighbor's daughter actually became a Disney mascot.
Oh God, no!
You should come meet her. Interesting. A fear of Disney mascots. That's brilliant.
Well, mostly mascots in general. I don't have more, except I still feel like uneasy around them unless I see who they are underneath it.
Yeah.
Like if they pull the head off first and I see their face, like, okay, there's an actual person under there.
Yeah. So the next question is, what do you think of a Goofy movie? As many of you know, I love the Goofy movie. Goofy is one of my favorite animated characters ever. A Goofy movie is just wonderful. It's a lovely, charming film about the relationship between a son and a father at a time when the son is going through a period in his life where he's becoming a teenager. And yeah, I just really enjoy it. It's one of those films that I think deserves more attention and more recognition because it's, for what it is, it's really well done. Yeah. It's a good movie, and the animation is stunning. It's Goof Troop the movie, but the animation's amazing.
Yeah.
And the songs, I love the songs.
Yeah. I only remember it from like the Disney December review of it. Like, I have seen it before, but I really need to rewatch it again. Because it looks so much fun.
It is. I really enjoy it. It's one of those films that's rewatchable for me. I just really get into it. It's for what it's done, for what it is. It's good. Yeah. So yeah, next question is thoughts on Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles. I've not seen it.
I've not seen it. But yeah.
See, I've not really got into Ninja Turtles that much. It was just something I grew up with as a kid, and I got the toys, and then when I became an adult, I was like, nah, I'm done. I've not watched much of it. If it's on TV, and I'm like staying at a hotel or I'm visiting my parents, then yeah, I will end up seeing it. But it's not one of those things I'm like, Ninja Turtles, yeah! It's like, yeah, Ninja Turtles, yeah.
Yeah. That was the same for me. I've only like really seen the 2006 Ninja Turtles series, and then for a few episodes of the series that came afterwards. I really do want to see like the 2014 Ninja Turtles because that's supposed to be like really good.
It does. I've seen. I caught an episode once, and it's decent, and the animation looks good, and it's okay for what it is.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I remember it being a bit funny as well. I think I remember it being funny.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and speaking of TV shows, Star Trek the animated series, Batman the animated series, or Superman the animated series. Our thoughts on them?
Yeah, I've only seen Batman the Animated Series, and I grew up with that, and I loved it as a kid. I've not seen it since, though, but I remember as a kid I really enjoyed it. So, but the other two I have not seen.
I have not seen Star Trek or Superman, but I have seen a few episodes of Batman, so that would have to be the best out of the three.
Yeah, out of the ones we've seen, we're going to go with Batman.
Yep. Yeah.
For Jambareeqi Whyboy, thoughts on Ted, A Million Ways to Die in the West, or Ted 2? I've not seen any of Seth MacFarlane's films because, well, I'm a bit about Seth MacFarlane. I love American Dad. I'm okay with Cleveland Show, and I can't stand Family Guy. It's like Seth MacFarlane's a mixed bag for me. I mean, the thing is with Seth MacFarlane is that he doesn't do much of the writing for the show, for his shows that he's created, and he gets a bit too much credit for that. And it's like he's got a staff doing most of the writing; they come up with most of the jokes. He does have a say in everything, but it's the writers behind those episodes that deserve more credit. And when Seth is on his own, you can tell he's writing on his own. It really stands out, and there's just there's something about his sense of humor that is a bit like an 8-year-old sense of humor or a 50. Like it's very childish. It's very childish sense of humor, which can be done well.
Yeah.
But with Seth MacFarlane, it's kind of like you even want to shout, "Grow up!"
Yeah.
And this is coming from me because I have a very immature sense of humor. I giggle at all innuendos. So yeah. I've not seen any of his stuff. I might check out Ted. Ted looks interesting to me as a concept. So I might check out that. And I like the idea that Seth MacFarlane's becoming more well known as a voice actor. As a voice actor, he's brilliant, incredibly versatile, embraces the characters that he plays. He's a great voice actor. So I think he's great at doing that.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag for me too. Like he's one of the main reasons I started Cartoon Corner because I started to like hate Family Guy so much. Just so many things that he pulled off. And now I don't want to get personal, but I just see a picture of him, he just looks fake to me.
I can kind of see that, yeah. I think
he
it's
looks
the smile.
he looks like a grown-up version of the Ken doll.
That's brilliant. He looks like a toy. He does.
Yeah.
I think it's because he looks so perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a very flawless face.
Yeah, you can't trust that face. What the fuck's he up to?
We can't judge someone by the way they look, though. No.
Yeah, we're just joking around. I'm judging by his work, and I hate Family Guy. I hated the Cleveland Show because it was just the Family Guy but black. American Dad is decent, and did he make another show? I always feel like he created a whole bunch of shit. But anyway, well, he's still a mixed bag. I can see he does have some good ideas, but he really got into a safe zone, like where all of his ideas can be okayed now, and that's just a really dangerous position for him.
I think the one of the things I really defend Seth MacFarlane on is a lot of people complain that his shows are all about families. That's not his fault. That is Fox. Fox is obsessed with making the next Simpsons. All they want to do is family shows. That's all they want to do. They want to do shows about families. And even when Trey and Matt pitched South Park to Fox, they were saying, well, we're not interested. It's not about family. That's how obsessed they are. So I can forgive him for doing that.
Yeah, I'm not focusing more on that. I'm more focusing on the inner workings of the family. Because he put, like, Fox wanted the family. Seth made what the family was.
Yes,
and
yes,
they all
definitely.
just seem like the exact same.
Definitely, yeah. I just can't like the family. And that's what makes it so difficult to get into the drama. If it was all mean-spirited, just pure mean spirit, I'd be like, okay, fine. But the fact he tries to be a bit emotional while trying to get you to feel for these characters, that's difficult to do. I think like Drawn Together is pure mean-spirited black comedy. And it knows it, and it embraces that, and that's why I'm more forgiving to Drawn Together. It's an insanely offensive show, but it never tries to have heart.
Yeah.
Never. So I don't get that upset about it. But with Family Guy, it can be really offensive, but it also tries to be emotional and tender at the same time. And it's like, you can't exactly do both. You can possibly. I mean, like, South Park does a good job of it. It can sometimes be a bit tender, but then it manages to kind of switch it back to being what it's about. But Family Guy, I don't think it's managed to balance it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's our thoughts on Stephen Fry.
Yeah, it's just that balance that he just fucks up with.
Yeah, he's got potential, but he needs to, you know, get his act together.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So the next question is thoughts on Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
It's an 80s cartoon, but I have not seen it. And speaking of 80s cartoons, thoughts on Gem and the Holograms and 80s cartoons. I have not seen that many, so I can't really give thoughts on that.
I've seen Nostalgia Chick's review of it, but I've really not seen.
Oh wait, my mistake. Thoughts on the Gem and the Holograms trailer.
I can kind of see people's anger at that because it's trying more to be the biographical rock music epic kind of film, and the original cartoon was more fantasy based, and it was very gimmicky, and it focused on you know what I mean, like I think it had monsters or something and something like that, and they've kind of taken that away and gone for a more serious tone. I can kind of see that irritation, but I like to say I never really judge a film until it's finished. I really don't. So I don't know what it's going to be like, and I don't have a connection with the show, so I'm not too fussed about it.
Yeah. I didn't even watch the trailer. I just try to avoid trailers now. I just mostly get excited off the titles, because once you see a trailer, you really just get like a first impression of it.
Definitely.
And, that's just very dangerous to get nowadays.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like Shaun the Sheep, the movie. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's another film where it's just characters going into the human world and interacting with it. And I saw the movie and I was like, this is amazing. This is brilliant. That's something. Go watch Shaun the Sheep, the movie, when it comes out in America. And if you live in the UK, watch it now. It's amazing. It's brilliant. The trailer does not give it justice.
Yeah, I want to see Shaun the Sheep because I love the show of it, and I just want to see the movie of it. Because I've also watched like Postman Pat. And I love the movie because it's so awful. So anytime like any sort of like British show just comes over here, I gotta see it. It's just so weird and new.
You've got a really odd question. Whyboy, are you the were-rabbit? Or are you were-rabbit? I don't know.
I'm not sure what that's referring to. That could be referring to my bunny ears that I always wear during Halloween. And let me just answer that. Like, some comments I get, it's like, why do you wear rabbit ears? It's like, that's my costume. That is it. That's just it. What's so difficult about that?
So yeah, whatever question that was. I've got a question. Jambareeqi, favorite childhood films? There's a lot. It depends on what perspective, because looking back on them, I don't know. Because looking back, there's not many that hold up, except for plenty of Disney and DreamWorks films. But most films that I've rewatched, it's like, oh no, not as good as I remember.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It depends on the perspective. Because when I was a kid, my favorite childhood films were things like Matilda, Space Jam. Space Jam. What else was there? Quest for Camelot. All sorts of stuff. I really, off the top of my head, I can't remember. I watched so many films all the time. I used to tune into the television and just I looked at TV Guide and I was like, right, when is the next animated film? And one of our stations, Channel 5, always used to show an animated film in the afternoon, so I was always excited. I was like, what's today? I got excited what it could be. It could be anything. It could be something I've seen before, something I've not seen before. Thank Channel 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, what would be your favorite childhood films?
Probably Space Jam, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. And, because Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase I've seen over like 100 times as a kid. I loved it that much. And really just those are the two favorites that I have. Because I watched Space Jam a whole bunch too. Even
Yeah.
even though it is shit. It is so shit. But it's just kind of the spectacle of it. Seeing the Looney Tunes play basketball.
It is, yeah. It's like, what?
Yeah, you sort of forgive the shitty story just to see that. Because
Yeah.
I do think the jokes on the court are actually pretty funny, but everything else about it is like just sort of like, bleh.
It's a very gimmicky project,
Yeah,
especially considering it was inspired by a commercial.
yeah, yeah. It's supposed to be like Space Jam 2 coming out soon, I believe. There's plans for that, at least. But I don't know why. Why
um,
would such a gimmicky thing be coming out now?
it is. It's been a while since the last one. It's our generation, so I don't know
Yeah,
if anyone in the new generation has seen it or not. So I don't know.
yeah.
Um, so another question is, do you like Kingdom Hearts? I've only played the first level. I'm not very good at most video games. I only played the first level. I mainly watched my brother playing it, and I loved watching him play it. And I love the concept of the game. It's genius. Combining Final Fantasy with Disney is brilliant.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I love Kingdom Hearts. I've played like most of the games except some of the side games that I couldn't get because they were PSP and bullshit like that. But I love the combat, the world building, the character of the first game, Sora. But here's where people are gonna get mad at me. I fucking hate how complicated Kingdom Hearts gets because then it starts to get into total bullshit territory, like the backstory of it, like how Sora becomes this sort of like 10-year old in like a 15-year-old's body. Like it just becomes so annoying after a while. Like so annoying and draining. I still want to play like Kingdom Hearts 3 and all that, but I'm just sick of all the side games and all that because some of them are just plain awful. Like, why can't we just have a simple story about a kid that gets a magical weapon to save his friends? That's all I cared about. But then we get this whole backstory about, like, basically, like, the soul of somebody else who goes into Sword to become the Keyblade Master. And that's another thing. I hate how being a Keyblade Master is so easy to be now. Like, everyone could become one by the end of, like, Kingdom Hearts 3DS. Like, it becomes meaningless. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Good game, but it's just overblown now.
Yeah, I've not really played them, but I liked watching them. So, next question is Robots or Ice Age? Now, I've not seen Robots in a long time. It's been ages since I've seen Robots, but I love the first Ice Age. I really do.
Yeah,
Its charm is its simplicity. It's a very
yeah.
basic story, but it has strong characters. It takes advantage of its simplistic setting, and it's just
Mhm.
for what it is. It's a good movie. So I do like Ice Age. It's one of those films I've watched quite a lot. So, but Robots, it kind of went. It just came and went for me. I
Yeah,
do plan on rewatching it, but I don't know.
yeah. I think the exact same for Robots and Ice Age. I think Ice Age is like a great movie. The
Hmm.
sequels, on the other hand, are basically just like bargain bin like sort of sequels. Like the second one is basically main character gets a girlfriend. Third one, main character gets some babies. Fourth one, another main character gets a girlfriend, and they're on a boat.
So yeah, I've only seen a couple of the sequels, and I really can't stand those two little rodents.
Yeah,
And like I just can't stand them. They're on the same list as the Madagascar animals. They're just so annoying.
yeah, they just won't shut up.
Yes, I just
Yeah,
can't
they're like
stand them.
dudes.
Oh,
They're like,
they're gimmicky and they're obnoxious and they don't shut up and
and they
no,
just add more gimmicky ones in the future.
yeah.
Ugh.
Next question. Thoughts on Shane Dawson? I've not watched Shane Dawson in a while. I dle kind of watch him for a while. I watched a couple
Yeah.
of his stuff and like I don't really remember. I remember laughing at them, but like, I don't watch
Yeah.
that many popular YouTubers, to be honest, because
Yeah.
they're just everywhere. They're very overexposed, so it's like I'm not interested because it's like I want to see some more humble people. I find them more
Yeah.
relatable.
Yeah. Yeah, I fell out of Shane Dawson before he got like really overexposed. But I didn't like really love him when I was watching him because he had that sort of like immature comedy style down, and I really loved him for that. In fact, like when he like got dressed up in his sort of like what was it like one of his girl characters, like that was the inspiration for me to like, like no other reviewer dresses up as a woman. Vanilla or Sprinklet, go!
So
So
yeah.
yeah, thank Shane Dawson for Vanilla.
So yeah, Shane Dawson.
Yeah,
um,
overblown, but he's all right
he's
YouTuber.
okay. He's okay. So the next question is worst Simpsons episode and Family Guy episode. For me, most Family Guy episodes are the worst for me. But I do really like the episode where Brian takes mushrooms because that is awesomely trippy. I do really like that episode. I remember having a couple of flaws, but the whole trippy imagery was really fun. But most episodes of Family Guy I really don't like, so most of them is what my answers are. And I do kind of like the first couple of seasons. They do work until the show got way too popular and full of itself and
Yeah,
too mean-spirited and so forth and so forth. List of Family Guy problems.
yeah,
But the worst Simpsons episode is more of a segment of a Treehouse of Horror episode. In the segment, it's not even a horror. It's supposed to be about the whole accidents with the Spider-Man musical, and it's the stupidest bottom of the barrel Simpsons thing ever. Just like you can complain about Simpsons wrestling, but this segment is terrible. All that happens is that Homer becomes disabled and he can't talk, so he communicates by farting, so he becomes Spider-Man, and you're like, what are you doing? What is this? This is stupid. This is lazy. What are you trying to achieve? It's like, oh. So I hate that segment so much. That is
yeah,
when Simpsons got the worst. That's when I was like almost giving up on the show. I'm surprised I didn't.
yeah. Yeah, I haven't really like seen like any Simpsons episodes that I outright hated or could really call the worst because by the time like where like the whole series plateaued, they basically all just became the same to me, just all like meh.
Yeah.
And then Family Guy, like I stopped watching it after like those ones, so basically where Quagmire tells off Brian, basically saying like, how can you like Lois and treat her like that? Like you're disgusting to me. It's like, who the fuck are you to say that? Like I can remember an episode where you were in the bathroom stall peeping at her peeing.
Yeah.
Like I get what's going for. Basically, like the perv basically telling off Brian, like saying that he's not cool. It's like, oh, he's still the fucking wrong character to say that.
Exactly, yeah. I liked the intention because I can't stand Brian, and those things needed to be said, but not by Quagmire.
Yeah.
It was still slightly satisfying to watch. I remember going, yes! by the end of it, because someone
Yeah.
had to say it. Someone needed to really bring him down a peg.
Yeah.
I just can't stand Brian. If he's possible in my top 10 least favorite characters, he's so obnoxious. And I know he's supposed to be, but there's a degree, there's an extent.
Yeah.
I can't find anything redeeming about him because of that. He's just so full of himself and ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he
he's just
died, when he died, I was like, oh, they brought him back.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's coming back, definitely. Like, I remember, like, posting, like, a Facebook update on that. Basically saying, like, oh, maybe this could be a brand new step or Family Guy to really better themselves, because this was an emotional thing. Like,
Yeah.
nah. Then I'm thinking, that's on my head, like, nah, Family Guy is not that brave.
Yeah. Okay, so next question is thoughts on Fawlty Towers, Little Britain, and Come Fly With Me. Okay, these are mainly British stuff, so I'll go first.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
While
any
everyone
of them, so
tries to
you just
like,
answer.
yeah. So okay, Fawlty Towers is pure genius. John Cleese is amazing, and it's a fantastic show with wonderful setups, very memorable sketches. It's just a great show, and it should have gone on for longer, I think. It's just great. I really love Fawlty Towers. Little Britain, I hate it. I really, really hate it. It's the worst. If you want an example of like how not to do a sketch show, that's it. It's basically the same joke in different locations, pretty much.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was kind of funny, but then when I got older and when I started to see what they were doing, I was like, yeah, that's all you're doing. You're just doing the same joke in a different place or with another character there. It's not imaginative. It's why I like Robot Chicken and Monty Python's Flying Circus. They're like joke, sketch, anything at all. Just keep throwing anything. Just right, let's do this, do that, do that. And with Little Britain, it's just, oh, screw it, we'll just do the same thing again. Use your imagination. So yeah, and Come Fly With Me, I kind of sort of remember it. I remember it having very disturbing makeup effects, really disturbing makeup effects. I really don't remember that well. I remember laughing at it, so I possibly would have been, I probably might have liked it more than Little Britain, but that's not a compliment. So have you seen these British shows?
Nope. Go ahead and put in your thoughts on the In-Betweeners as well, because British, but haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yes, that's the next question, is thoughts on the In-Betweeners. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. It's like 30-year-old men playing 10-year-old children who act like 17-year-old teenagers or something like... That's what it looks like to me. How old are they supposed to be? Because I don't. Because I remember them dressed when I saw the show. They were dressed like they were at primary school, but they acted like they were 17 or 16. But they looked like they were in their 30s or 20s. So I was like, what? I just didn't get it. I didn't get the appeal. I didn't know what it was supposed to. It just went over my head, so I just didn't get into it. It wasn't one of my shows. I couldn't get past the concept and the casting. It was just weird.
Yeah.
Next question is favorite Monty Python movie. That is hard.
We are getting so British here now.
I'd probably say Life of Brian because that has the strongest story. That has a very strong story to it. And I love how it does feel like a sweeping epic as well. It feels very cinematic and it's big, and I really like. So I possibly would go with Life of Brian. What about you?
Now, I haven't really seen many of the Monty Python movies, so I'll have to say the one major one that's really affected me. That would be the Holy Grail. Like that's a classic one, classic jokes and all that, like super comedy. Even the ending was like that was like one of the weirdest endings that I've ever seen. It's like it just stops in the middle of it. It's like, is something supposed to happen? Like that was the first time as a kid that I thought like, maybe we should wait. I think something special is going to happen. And the joke was nothing happens.
Yeah, that's very Monty Python humor, and also like opening credits. It's just credits arguing with itself. It's just so good, so clever.
Yeah.
It goes on for ages, but it still just gets funnier and funnier as it goes on, and it's hard to drag a joke on without it becoming tiresome.
Yeah.
Which is what Monty Python is very good at doing. Very good at doing. So the next question is for Jambareeqi and Whyboy. Where I've lost it now. Thoughts on Mad on Cartoon Network? Not seen it. I haven't seen Cartoon Network for years.
Yeah, I have seen it, and I enjoy it because I do enjoy the Mad comics. It's basically that sort of sketch show sort of thing. Like some of them hit, some of them don't. But I would say Robot Chicken is a little bit better. Just Mad's just a lot more pop cultural, and we'll just get like dated with time. So yeah. And that's really all you can really say on Mad because it's just really that sort of simple. I do like all the art style and it like they bring in like Spy versus Spy and all that, and I love Spy versus Spy.
Yeah, I think I remember that actually. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's the black spy and the white spy killing each other.
Yes, that was good. I remember that.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite segments because they all always did in like these stop motion things, and like you know me and stop motion is just like boom, awesome.
So the next question is, are you looking forward to Jurassic World? I've not really been fussed about the Jurassic Park series since I was a kid, because when I was a kid, I was dinosaur crazy and had all the Jurassic Park kind of stuff. But the concept of Jurassic World is interesting. I think this is what I think it is. Is it dinosaurs living, coming out of the park and living around the world and taking over the world? Because
I have no idea.
I think that's the case. I'm not too sure. That's what it looks like. I can barely remember the trailer off the top of my head, but if that's what it is, I will watch it because that sounds awesome. I
Yeah.
do love dinosaurs. I was obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid. So, what do you think?
I haven't really like, fretting over Jurassic World at all. Like I know it's like Jurassic Park is a huge series, but I haven't really seen any of the movies. I've only seen like reviews of it. I do plan on like seeing it one day, maybe with my boyfriend and all that. But until then, it's like meh, won't go and see it.
Meh, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
Just thought I
Park,
heard
the
hear someone say
biggest
that.
place on Earth. What are your
So
favorite Simpsons episodes? Go.
oh, I've already done a video of this of my top 5 favorites. My number one favorite is that One Fish, Two Fish episode where it's about Homer realizing he's going to die and he's trying to fulfill his life. It's a really touching episode,
Yeah.
and it's got George Takei in it, so it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that episode because it's so
Yeah.
meaningful and deep,
Yeah.
and that ending implies so much. It's a really powerful ending. It's just Simpsons at its best because it mixes the comedy and the drama so well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely would say that's my top favorite one. But there's also My Sister the Sitter, the one where Bart goes through a child life crisis and ends up on a cruise boat. That one's really fun. And Round Springfield. Yeah, there's loads that I really do
Yeah.
enjoy. What I'm considering doing when I get the time is just randomly reviewing specific episodes. I'd love to do that. I'd love to have a go because I've got so many DVDs of them. Why not? But it's about picking which one to talk about and finding time to talk about it.
I'm trying to think of my favorite episodes. Like I'm one of those people that really like the first and second season because it is a very different tone from like every single other Simpsons episodes. Like it is that sort of like mundane like calmness to it.
Yeah, it's relaxing.
Yeah. So like my favorite episode is like where Barney's going to like fail like the third grade if he doesn't like pass his test, and like that was like a really emotional episode, basically like highlighting his sort of ineptitude in school and how hard he tries, he just still fails in the end. And I just felt like that was like the key that that episode needed. Like no matter how hard you try, sometimes you will just fail. Even though in the end he does pass in the end with like a passing grade, and he still gets out of there. Like it's that sort of like nice episode that I like. And another one I like is like what was it? It's basically the kids during a water balloon fight. Like they did this.
Bart the General.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I love that as well. Like
You
it is
make
it's that sort of mundanity too that basically makes it all fun, basically relaxing to watch as well.
making me want to watch old episodes again. What we often get on British television is on a Sunday afternoon, they'll put on old episodes.
Yeah.
And it's just so relaxing, just having a Sunday roast and watching an old episode of The Simpsons. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, we get that here too. It's usually on like Saturdays, Sundays. I'm not sure if they do. They used to do like each and every sort of like afternoon, like they would just post any sort of Simpsons episodes. It's reruns.
Yeah.
I should really watch some now.
Those are our thoughts on the Simpsons episodes that we like. So the next question is Food Fight, Where the Dead Go to Die, or the Cars Life trilogy. You're probably guessing which is worse, but the thing is, I've not seen Food Fight properly. I've only seen reviews of it. I've not seen Where the Dead Go to Die. Cars Life trilogy is terrible, so I'm going to go with that.
Yeah. I haven't seen Where the Dead Go to Die or any of the Cars Life trilogy, so I'll have to just say Food Fight.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Next question is Rio
Rio
or
2. There's
Rio 2. I've not seen them.
Oh, oh well, I thought there was going to be more to talk about. But yeah, Rio and Rio 2 are all right movies. Yeah, I wouldn't like recommend them to anybody. Besides the animation, is beautiful because it's done by Blue Sky. Like the feathers of the birds and all that, the motion is beautiful and all that. But Rio 2, it's a very interesting sort of movie because it's got so much in it, but it feels like nothing's happening at all. Because most of everything that happens is inconsequential to the final to the final product. Might actually do a review of that someday because I did do like actual spotlights of both movies.
Right.
Yeah, but
I,
the
I,
only
I, I do have them on my schedule, I think, somewhere.
yeah, but yeah, Rio 2 is like something that I find odd that nobody seems to point out in any of their other reviews. It's like Rio 2 is an environmental movie as well, and a crappy one too. Like it's loggers going to the rainforest to cut down the trees.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
That kind of movie.
yeah, yeah. It's wonderful like that. So between Rio and Rio 2, I'll just go with Rio because it's basically that sort of generic main character meets girl character. They go from point A to point B, and then they get together.
Yeah. I have no thoughts on them. I've not seen them yet. So
Yeah.
the next one is Cars, Little Cars, or A Car's Life. I'm gonna go Cars Life. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen. Period. I've not seen Little Cars. I kind of like the first Cars movie. I rewatched it recently, and I found it to be a relaxing film. It's nothing remarkable,
Yeah.
but it's just a nice movie. It's just nice to spend time with these sweet characters in a little quiet place, and I felt very relaxed watching it again. I was like, this isn't that bad. Cars 2, on the other hand, I tried rewatching that just a bit. I tried rewatching it again straight after rewatching Cars, and I was like, oh no, I like Cars. That's held up for me, but Cars 2, I remember it being this bad. So I was done. I was done after like 5 minutes. The biggest problem with Cars 2 is Mater for me. He just doesn't work as a main character. He's just so obnoxious in that film. So annoying. And that whole misunderstanding joke just gets tired so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only talk about like Cars. The first Cars a little bit because I haven't seen anything else, but Cars is very meh to me. It is just a very sort of like bland middle of the road movie that Pixar ever did. Like it's just their movie to basically make money. That's just what I see it as.
I don't per se, because well, it kind of depends because John Lasseter, you can tell it's John Lasseter's project because he's obsessed with cars. So I can see there's a passion there. I wouldn't say that the primary motive would be money.
Oh no, I wasn't saying like the primary motive. It's basically what Pixar goes to now. They're basically saying like, oh, we need to actually make money off this. Put out Cars. Put out Cars 2. Put out Planes. Put out Planes 2.
I think it's mainly Disney that are thinking that side of things. I think it's Disney's involvement probably influencing them. I'm not too sure. We don't know. That's if we don't know behind the scenes what's influencing them, what's making them make these decisions. You don't know. But I can definitely say that there is passion behind the first Cars film because you can tell that John Lasseter is obsessed with cars. I mean, obsessed. I think he has his own private racetrack or something somewhere.
Of course he does.
He is very, very wealthy. It's like a Cribs video of John Lasseter. I swear there is. And he's like, and here's my Hawaiian shirt collection. So yeah, those are our thoughts on the Cars movies. Next question, very British again. Young Ones or Bottom? Oh, this is tough. I love both shows. I'm gonna go with Young Ones because Young Ones has more characters and more to work with, and a stranger house, and it goes a bit more crazy, a bit more fantasy. Bottom is still awesome, and it's really entertaining on how slapstick it gets and how violent it gets. But Young Ones just has more material to work with. I really love both shows, but kind of lean towards young ones more, especially as a student as well. So yeah, I'm going to go with young ones. What about you?
Let me think. I haven't seen either of them.
So
No,
moving
so
on.
let's move on.
Thoughts on 42?
What's 42?
I don't know what 42 is.
The
Sorry.
number? I
It's a
think 42
nice
is a nice
number.
number.
It's an
Yeah,
even
nice
number, so
number.
I like it.
Yeah. And what about
um,
David Williams?
David Williams, he is a British comedian. I mean, I liked the I kind of like the TV adaptations he's done of his books. I haven't read any of his books, but the TV adaptations of his children's books are nice. I remember, I think it's Mr. Stinks. I remember liking that. That was a sweet movie. But as a comedian, David Williams, I find him a bit cringy. He acts a bit like a children's TV presenter kind of comedian.
Hey,
Like,
kids! Wow!
yeah, like he's a bit cringy to me. And as I said, I really can't stand Little Britain, so that's one of the things that puts me off him. But I like Matt Lucas a lot, so I can forgive him for Little Britain. So I don't know why. There's just something about David Williams I don't like that much. So it's a mixed bag. Sometimes he's entertaining. Sometimes he's kind of like, oh no, you're being embarrassing. Stop it.
Yeah.
Not in the embarrassing funny way. In the embarrassing of like you're trying too hard to be funny. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on David Williams?
No.
And Matt Lucas, I think Matt Lucas, out of them both, I like him more because he's a fantastic character actor. He's been in different things and he's managed to change into all these different characters very well. David Williams, that's another problem with David Williams, is that you can tell he's David Williams every time he plays a character, and most of the characters are the same. He's doing the same voice for nearly every character, the same movements and stuff. But with Matt Lucas, he's got more variety to him, so I find him more entertaining, and I can forgive him more. So yeah, I like Matt Lucas, and he's a fan of the Proclaimer. So. Do you know Matt Lucas? Because I know he's a bit more exposed in America.
I don't know any actors. I don't know many names. I'm just terrible with names.
He played Tweedledee and Tweedledum in Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, I'll remember him now.
That's all I can think, because he's compared to David Williams, is a bit more exposed because of that film. I think we we draw this to a close soon because I'm hungry. I've not eaten, and I've got to do my Thai lesson soon.
Yeah. Tai Chi. Oh.
No, Thai language. Not Tai Chi.
You'll do Tai Chi as you learn your Thai.
That would be really difficult. But my step-granddad is awesome because he's 70 years old, but he windsurfs, he does Tai Chi, and he has studied nearly every single religion, so he's incredibly spiritual. He's just awesome. He's such a cool granddad. Remember one Christmas he rang up saying like, he's got a very thick Australian accent. He's born in South Africa. He's got an Irish name, but he's got a very thick Australian accent. Excuse my bad Australian accent, but it's like, oh yeah, I'm just shooting squirrels with my slingshot while doing Tai Chi.
Why would he shoot squirrels?
He's so strange, entertainingly strange and funny. But yeah, that's my connection to Tai Chi. So yeah, we're kind of getting to the bottom as well. So let's do at least two more questions. We've got a lot here, so I don't know. Tell you what, you pick a question, I'll pick a question. Those will be our last two. So you pick one.
Okay, I shall choose for Jambareeqi Whyboy Shrek 1, 2, 3, or 4. I have actually seen all 4, so I can actually make a thought on this. And I would say Shrek 2 was the best one, hands down. It's got the best comedy, best characters. It's got the emotional moments and all that. The third and fourth movie are very gimmicky sort of movies. The third one I think is still pretty alright. The fourth one I feel just really jumps the rails and jumps the shark. because it's basically it's not really, but it's basically a time travel sort of movie where you go back, it's like, what? I wasn't born now. Now everything's different.
Fair face. I don't really mind Shrek 4. I think it's okay. I don't mind it. Shrek the Third, I don't mind it. Shrek 1 is okay. It's okay. But my problem with Shrek 1 is that I've watched it too many times, so I don't appreciate it as much as I used to. I've overwatched it, so I can't enjoy it like I used to. Shrek 2, I think, is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's colourful, it's funny, it's imaginative, and it's got the strongest story out of all of them. I really like it. It's very entertaining.
Oh,
So yeah,
definitely.
those are our thoughts on the Shrek movies, and I will choose. This will be the last question. Oh damn it! There's 2 questions here that I really like.
Yeah, let's just answer them both. Just do it.
I'll do them both because I know that I can answer one quickly. Okay, so thoughts on Robert Crumb. Interesting guy. He makes a lot of fascinating points, but he is kind of disturbing. He is kind of like there's he can be weird interesting, but you can all be kind of like weird. What? Like his. But I don't know. He is interesting in how bafflingly weird he is. Like for those of you who don't know, Robert Crumb is a comic book artist, and a lot of his comics are really dark, twisted, cynical, and bitter, and they can get really grotesque. But sometimes he makes some very interesting observations about society, and you can agree with them. But sometimes he just gets a bit too gruesome and disturbing in his content, and you feel as if that he's getting a bit off on it rather than trying to make a point. And you're like, when you know more about him, you know that he has a very strange set of turn-ons. There's a documentary about him where he's like, I really like Bugs Bunny and drag, or something like that. No, what was it now? I really like. He had a Bugs Bunny sticker on his journal, and he's like, I really like stroking the Bugs Bunny on there. When I was a kid, it turned me on. It's like, if it floats your boat, cool, that's totally fine. But like, it is a bit much to handle.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, I've discovered a lot of strange sexual fetishes, but Robert Crumb is like, whoa, what? Ooh. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not far from a bad thing, but it's a very I say it's overwhelming. He's a very overwhelming presence, Robert Crumb. He's very overwhelming in how strange he is, and this is coming from me because I've seen and I love a lot of strange people and strange things. But Robert Crumb. Those are my thoughts. So I'll do the other one that I like the sound of, and that's the thoughts on the Peanuts comic strip and new movie. I'm looking forward to the movie, just a little hesitant because it's by Blue Sky Studio.
Yeah.
The only
Blue Sky has very amazing animation, but their stories have not been the greatest.
So I'm a bit hesitant. The comic strips I kind of sort of remember, not too much, but I mainly remember the cartoons. I love the Charlie Brown cartoons. I adore them. They are just so relaxing and charming and entertaining. So yeah, those are my thoughts on those.
Yep, I feel the exact same way. I even did my third review on It's the Girl in the Red Truck, Charlie Brown. Even then, it is a silly, boring movie, but it's still so enjoyable.
Yeah. So that's all we have time for. I want to eat, and I need to learn my Thai, because I'm moving to Thailand next year, so I have to be very fluent.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I have no idea how long we went on for. Do you know? I
Probably
think it's 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours.
3 hours, yeah. Which is almost as long as the last live stream, which is good. So, yeah, sorry to anyone that we didn't answer questions from. So maybe we might do another one of these soon. Jambareeqi Whyboy, Q&A 2, Whyboy's Revenge.
I'll bring my guns, big explosion, I'll jump in.
So yeah, if you really enjoyed listening to Whyboy in this live stream, I really encourage you to check out his channel, which I've made a link to in the description box. Go to the description box. I've left links to his Twitter, his Facebook, his website, and his YouTube. I really encourage you to subscribe to his channel. He makes very entertaining videos, very similar to what I do, okay? So if you like what I do, then go and check out his stuff, okay? I was like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I
Do
support
that.
that plugin.
I support it fully because it has me in it.
So yeah, this was fun. This was very fun, and yeah, it was great. So cheerio, folks.
Yep. See ya.